Rock and roll. Pull up my list. What's going on, everybody? You already know this boy Narcolepsy Boy 94. I came to leak back here again. Let me fix that. Hold on. Fix that. There we go. Back here again with another podcast doing top five everything today. Came up with this idea myself. Top 5 podcast. We're talking some wrestling, some other stuff for TV shows. You know, all types of categories. I wanted to mix it up a little bit to make it more interesting for things. So, as usual, we have the squad: Sean, Kyron, Maltese. Always a pleasure. Shout out to Rambo. Shout out to Conrad. Six Pack will be back soon, hopefully. So we'll just start with the wrestling ones. I think that's what people want to see anyway. So we'll start with the wrestling ones, and we'll just dive into the other ones. Or you know what? Actually, I'll mix it up. We'll do a wrestling one, and then we'll do a non-wrestling one.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. We'll mix it up. So we'll do a wrestling one, then non-wrestling, then wrestling. So we'll mix it up and add a little flavor into it. I think that'd be a little better. Add some flavor into it. That way you don't have to. We'll save the best for last. So I think we'll go non-wrestling first. That way we can end on a wrestling question. Would that be right? If we started with the wrestling, non-wrestling one, and on the wrestling one.
Sure.
We got 10.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll do a non-wrestling one first. So bear with us, guys. We have questions, and for everybody in here, we're not going to answer questions until the end, depending on how long we'll be on here, because we want to run through this for you guys. So after we're done with our list for our top 5, because there's 10 categories for each one. After we're done, if depending on how long we'll be on here, I'll answer some questions for you guys, because I know you guys have tons of questions, because a lot of things happened in the past couple of days in wrestling. So
I think we can also sorry to cut you off. I think we can also maybe if we see something cool in the comments that we might agree on, be like. Give him a shout out or whatever. Be like, oh shit, that was a good movie. I forgot about it.
Yeah,
thanks,
for sure,
Jake.
For sure.
Thanks for bringing it up, Jake.
For sure. Let's start with the movies, man. Let's just start with top 5 '80s movies through '80s. So we'll go because we got '80s and '90s. So I'll go first, and then for the first one, we'll just go in order. So for me to Sean, we'll just go in a little order. Okay. This is just personal opinions, guys. So feel free to put your top 5 '80s movies in the comments. Not everybody's gonna have the same list. Everybody's list is gonna be different. So for mine, no order, by the way. My list is in no order. I don't know if you guys want to put your list in order or not, but my list is in no particular order. So starting off with my top 5 favorite '80s movies, I gotta have Rocky 3 and Rocky 4. So that's one until Rocky 3 and Rocky 4 are both in there for me. Personally, I think Rocky 3 is the best Rocky, and Rocky 4 is the second best Rocky, but those both are in there for me. Then I have one that some people. I think I've spoken on this. I think I've told people how much I like this movie, but I have Dirty Dancing, bro. I absolutely love that movie.
You love that movie, man.
Bro, fucking love that movie. It's such a good movie, bro. And I don't know what it is. It's bro. It makes you feel some type of way, bro. It's such a good movie. Every time I watch it, I just feel like I'm in it. I'm like, bro, this movie, it brings out the emotion in me. I'm not even an emotional guy, but the movie it brings out the emotion in me. And I think, to me, I think that's my favorite dance movie, actually. If you look at all the dance movies, it's definitely has to be my favorite one. Number 4, got to go with Harlem Nights, Eddie Murphy, Harlem Nights, bro, with all the great comedians from Richard Pryor to Red Fox to Eddie Murphy. Those are just a few right there. Absolute classic movie. One of the funniest movies to me personally I've ever watched. Absolutely love it. And for my last one, gotta go with the Breakfast Club, man. Breakfast Club, one of my favorites. Not just one of my favorites. You popping out the Kushida. I see you.
Not a bubble vest.
Popping out the Kushida. It's similar. Yeah. It's similar.
That was good.
But those are my top 5 favorite '80s movies from the 1980s. Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Dirty Dancing, Harlem Nights, and The Breakfast Club. That's my list. So
that's what's up, man. That's what's up.
Those are my list.
Here we go, man. First of all, great listening week. About to keep the thing going. 1980s. Let's go. Very young. Born in '86. So some of these I weren't. Well, actually, 2 of them I was not alive for. 3 of them I were. All right. Money Can't Buy Me Love. Remade later in the '90s by Nick Cannon. Called Love Don't Cost a Thing.
No, I actually didn't know that until you told me that. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
I think you were the one who told me that because I've seen both movies, but I didn't know it was the remake until you told me that. I had no idea.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. A story of a young man who was unpopular in high school, basically paid the most popular girl in school to be his girlfriend, to pretend to be his girlfriend, became popular and realized all he ever wanted was her and nothing else. Awesome theme, awesome movie, awesome story. Coming to America, 1988. Unbelievable movie. One of the greatest movies I've ever seen in my life. Very much looking forward to it.
True story.
Very much looking forward to the new one coming out in March. I doubt it will be as good. Hard to redo classics like that. Rocky IV is on my list. The Drago storyline was absolutely excellent. Back to the Future. No laughter for Back to the Future because of the bubble.
Hell yeah.
Okay. All right. Back to the Future is definitely cool. Not 2 or 3. I really didn't like those, but Back to the Future 1 was awesome. And then one of the most inspirational movies in history, Lean on Me, is my number 5.
That's a good one. My honorable man, I forgot to mention an honorable mention. My honorable mention would have been Stand By Me. That would almost made my list. That was close.
Okay.
That was a hair away from making my list. And for Coming to America, I had to pick between Coming to America and Harlem Nights, and Harlem Nights is funny to me, bro.
Harlem Nights is a classic, brother. I'm not mad at it.
I had to go with Harlem Nights. All right, Mountie, floor is yours.
Okay. So we're on the 80s, obviously, right?
Yeah, 80s.
So 80s movies is, oh my God, just so many good ones. Like Sean, I was born in 80.
Hold up. Mountie, hold on. I got to address his comment.
Yeah.
B. Maggie says, bottom right looks like Bobby Lashley. I look nothing like Bobby Lashley. I'm not even bald-headed. How do I look like Bobby Lashley?
Hey, that's a compliment, though, bro. Bobby Lashley might be WWE champion soon. So
why don't you show me your pecs? Show me your pecs, Kyron, and then we'll see if you look like him. Let's go.
I mean, he may not have the Bobby. He may not have the Bobby Lashley. He may not have the Bobby Lashley physique. You know what I'm saying?
If I take my shirt off, we're gonna lose all of our viewers.
We don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. All right, Mountie.
Okay, look, so start with some honorable mentions because as amazing as these picks were, I couldn't replace them with my top 5. And these honorable mentions are the following: The Outsiders, great book, great movie, very low budget, but had some great actors in it. Tom Cruise, Patrick Swayze, Emilio Estevez. Like, bro, I mean, these are some big names in stuff in the 80s. So if you haven't had a chance to go watch that movie, look, keep your expectations relatively low, but it's about gang fighting and stuff, and greasers against jocks kind of deal. So you guys might like it.
Me personally, I thought the book was better than the movie.
Agreed. Totally agree.
The movie was good though, man. You know
what saved the movie was the actors that they picked to play
absolutely.
It. Like if they had a bunch of nobodies, maybe I wouldn't have been as into it. You know,
for anybody who, if you're a reader or you like to read, if you've never read the book, I highly recommend it because we read it in 7th grade, and it was for a class project. And
it was grade 6 actually. Yeah.
Let me tell you, bro, this is one of the very few books that we read that people talked about consistently. After every chapter was done, you went to lunch like, bro, what's gonna happen in the next chapter?
Yes.
It was so good, but you couldn't believe, like, oh, did you believe that dude shot dude? Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, it was.
Dude, that was like a universal feeling, man, for sure.
Yeah, I admit the ending scene when he read the letter. I actually cried first when I saw that scene.
Yeah, it was.
When he friendly, I cried.
It was really good.
That was tough. It was tough.
Great mention. I actually great mention. I said it's a great mention. Outsiders.
Yeah, imagine what's on my top 5. Yeah, no. Yeah. But okay, another shout out to Back to the Future. Pretty much all of them, really. Like except for the third one. I didn't really like the third one. So the first and second one, I didn't like the third one. So number 1 and 2. I'm pretty sure that was 80s, right? Obviously.
Yeah.
The second one too. Second one was 80s.
All 3 of them.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then my third honorable mention, and there's a ton other that could have made this list, but I don't want to be here all night. Ghostbusters. Love Ghostbusters. Love the characters. Love the build. I love the action figures that I bought with it and all that kind of stuff. So anyways, on to my top 5. No particular order, but I have Scarface in there. Ooh. Love Scarface. I'm big on like drug gang movies and stuff like that. I've always liked them. Always had a soft spot for some weird reason. The original Batman, the first Batman that came out, Jack Nicholson, Michael Keating. This was a classic. The cinematography, really the darkness, like I went out, like it makes me want to go out and buy the Batcave and the Batmobile right now. Like watching that movie just brings me back, and I was just, even as a kid, I'm sure I could have seen that movie live. Even if I was the same age right now, 35, and I would have loved it. So that's my second one. Third one, Terminator. Original Terminator with Arnold. Changed the game, man. That movie put him on the map, and he did not disappoint. Such a basic storyline, but very complex at the same time if you think about it. I got Rocky 4 in there because that was my favorite Rocky. The Ivan Drago, Apollo Creed, sort of, that feud, not a feud, like he killed him. I mean, like this was a serious movie that, like, ups and downs, and to this day, I still get moved by it. And after I watch that movie, I want to just go run up a hill and do some.
Bro, if anybody's ever watched, I'm sure everybody in the comments have seen.
If you want to work out, if you never have the motivation to work out in your life, watch that movie and tell me it doesn't make you want to move your ass.
I have to give credit to the Rocky movies too, because one of the best parts of every Rocky movie from 1 to 4 has been
training montage.
The training session is fucking lit, bro. The trainings are so lit, bro.
Oh,
it's
so
insane,
good, bro. To this day, I have that shit on my playlist, and if I'm like in a funk, I blast that shit super loud, and I'll just rock.
I will say, even though Rocky 3 to me is the best Rocky, the training session in Rocky 4 was at all.
Well, they had two of them. They had two amazing training sessions.
But the
one with Hearts on Fire, and then the actual training montage instrumental where they were just kicking it off there. I was like, yo, this is like mind blowing. So that's my fourth pick for Rocky 4, and one that people forget about, but arguably one of the best horror movies of all time, and books, The Shining. These are my top 5, gentlemen: Scarface, Batman, Terminator, Rocky 4, and The Shining. If you come and hang out at my house for a week and you've never seen these movies, we're gonna have a good time just based on that.
Shining's a good movie. Yeah. All right, floor yours, Kyra.
All right, so someone who wasn't around in either 80s or 90s, I'm looking at it different from others. All right, number 5, I actually do have Ghostbusters. The climax, especially the climax, is one of my favorite scenes in cinema. I can always watch that. Number 4, this is probably the best movie on this list, even though it's not my favorite on this list. Number 4 is The Empire Strikes Back. Even though it's not my favorite sequel, I think it's the greatest sequel ever made. It's the greatest Star Wars film ever made. It has the greatest plot twist in cinema history. And so I got that. Number 4 is The Empire Strikes Back. Number 3, I told you guys about this movie. Number 3 is The Karate Kid Part 2. This is my favorite Karate Kid film. The music, the villain, the fact that it was just as much Mr. Miyagi's story as his Daniel's story, I think is the best Karate Kid film. Number 2, Aliens. Number 2, Aliens, the sequel to the original Alien. I think this film brings back the atmospheric tension of the first film while adding the action sequence, the more action oriented instead of horror oriented. And Sigourney Weaver literally kills the role of Ellen Ripley. And the film has one of my favorite lines in cinema history: "Get away from her, you bitch." It's a great movie. What?
That was funny. We just plugged in a little plug-in right there. That was cool. That was great.
And number 1, Mountain, you brought it up, but I got to bring it up. I'm a huge superhero fan. Batman '89. For every reason you said, the atmosphere, Jack Nicholson as Joker, Michael Keaton as Batman, Tim Burton, even though he never read a comic book, his fingerprints all over the way it looks. And another thing you didn't bring up was the score. Danny Elfman's score is amazing.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
I think, even though I prefer The Dark Knight, which is my favorite movie, and even Batman Begins, Batman '89 will always hold that spot in your heart.
Yeah, man, yeah. So everybody has some pretty good lists. Somebody in the chat said, I'm surprised somebody said Karate Kid. Well, Kyron had Karate Kid 2. Karate Kid number 2. So that made the list. But it was... I knew as somebody was going to read their list, you're going to look at your list and be like, oh, man, I should have put that one in there. I should have had that one in there.
Big time.
But I couldn't replace my list, especially with, everybody. I think everybody watches movies for different reasons. They have different feelings to different movies, for different reasons. So it depends on your personal preference, So let's move into top 5 favorite WrestleMania matches. So now we're moving to some wrestling for you guys. We'll start from the bottom up, man. We'll start with Kyron all the way up to me. So, Kyron, since you went last, I'll let you go first this time.
Okay, Kyron chooses top 5 WrestleMania matches. You guys probably know most of these. Number 5, Randy Savage versus the Ultimate Warrior, WrestleMania 7. You guys know I'm not a big Ultimate Warrior fan. This is the best match he ever had. This match told an incredible story. You know, with both men kicking out of each other's finishes, while you can say, "Oh, Warrior kicked out of 5 elbows," knowing the stakes that match had, you believe they would kick out of each other's finisher. And do I even need to bring up the post-match stuff? One of the most emotional moments in wrestling history.
Yeah, I think that's. I want to plug in something real quick. I've gone on many records on my TikTok many times. Some people say that's like one of the greatest WrestleMania moments ever. I think that's one of the greatest wrestling moments in history of pro wrestling.
Yeah.
That moment between Macho Man and Randy Savage, bro, when you can get people to cry in the audience, and I'm sure people cried at home too, because I wasn't around them. I'm sure people cried at home and cried in the audience. That is true wrestling storytelling at its finest.
You know, the crazy part was like Liz was able to tell that story with saying like very minimal dialogue. But you knew the love was there because there was love between these two off screen, obviously. Right?
Bro,
they told it so well.
If people remember, before you finish, Kyron, people got to remember, bro. Macho Man and Miss Elizabeth were so beloved and so over. They had a wedding on a pay-per-view, bro. It main event in SummerSlam. It was the main event. They got married. That was the only marriage, I think, in the wrestling history that never got interrupted, that never ended in some type of physical calamity.
Good point.
They had an actual wedding, got married, and SummerSlam ended. Everybody was happy. All right, yeah. Number 4, to me, this is the first WrestleMania classic. Randy Savage versus Ricky Steamboat, WrestleMania 3. It doesn't have a lot of high spots, doesn't have extreme moments, it doesn't have a lot of kickouts, but it's just a solid wrestling match. It tells a great story. This is what the Intercontinental Championship used to mean back in the day. It's like I said, it's the first WrestleMania classic to me, at least. Number 3, Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Bret Hart, WrestleMania 13. I said during the top 3 video we did a while ago, Malik, it has everything any wrestling fan wants. If you're a hardcore fan, you can get into it. A technical fan, you can get into it. Tells a great story. Executes a perfect double turn. Still the best double turn in wrestling history. And it propelled Steve Austin to what I think will become the biggest star in WWE history. Number 2, Sean, you were there in person for this one. The WrestleMania 20 main event. The greatest triple threat match of all time. I don't know what else I can say about this match that hasn't already been said. I've always said the best type of triple threat matches are the type of triple threat match you have 3 guys that know what they're doing in the ring. And this match was, the embodiment of that. And the moment afterwards with Eddie Guerrero and Chris Benoit, still my personal favorite WrestleMania moment. And I'm pretty sure you guys know what number 1 is. Number 1, Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker, WrestleMania 25. I can talk about everything about the in-ring stuff, the story it told, the commentary, but I'm going to bring this. I think it's a very well directed match. As much as we all crap on Kevin Dunn, and rightfully so, the shots they got from this match, the camera shots are some of the best in WWE history, especially the way Undertaker sold Shawn kicking out of the tombstone was absolutely perfect. It's the greatest WrestleMania match in history, and I don't think most people would deny that.
Well done.
Tough one follow-up, Mountie.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, Kyron to this day is still one of the better wrestling minds that I personally know in this world. So very, very tough to salute that man for sure. All right. Well, look, similar to what Kyron was saying about Ultimate Warrior, like we all know what he was all about and everything. But there was a few matches that he had that really stood out. And obviously one of them was Macho Man. But I'm going to put a little spin on it, and these are my favorite, right? So this one meant a lot to me, being like a 6-year-old kid at the time, and first time in the world that I had to choose, and it was really hard. Hulk Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior, WrestleMania 6. For me, this match had everything that I was expecting, I guess, as a kid. The result technically at that point was the right result for me. Like I liked Warrior just a tad more than Hogan in that match because like Warrior just got my attention a little bit more as I was a child. No disrespect to Hogan, but just for that particular match, it was so hard for me. But man, like it was just one of those things where it's like I think either way I would have been happy with it. It was just cool to see like in the first time ever, if I'm not mistaken, for WWE history at least, that you had two face wrestlers go against each other, and not even just two face wrestlers, like two of the most over face wrestlers. Like this was, they had their moment in the Rumble, and I was like goosebumps and shit. And having them face off at WrestleMania for me was like just massive box office. It just covered everything for me. So that was my number 5. Number 4, I won't get into it too much because Taker, Kyron already mentioned that, Taker versus HBK 25, man. I mean, that arguably the best match ever. There's storytelling, and then there's that. There's dramatic finishes, and then there's that match. Like, it really set the pace for, everything that has to do with wrestling. Like, Malik mentioned to me to us the other day, like, hey, if you never watched wrestling, like, watch this match. For me, that's the one I would show people. I would show them everything to do with that entire match. It was so good. This is my number 3 is a curveball. It's just a personal favorite of mine because this is one of those matches that got me back into wrestling. And, it was a couple of the characters that were in that really helped, keep me invested again. And I had a big love for Randy Orton, as you guys know. I started to get back into wrestling, I think, in around 2006 or something like that. And I took a few years off. So I had to catch up on some WrestleManias. And one match that I really, really loved was Randy Orton versus Rey Mysterio versus Kurt Angle. That triple threat match at WrestleMania 22, for me, I just love the build. I love the wrestlers in the ring. You had 3 great talents, almost from 3 generations, almost close enough. You had Ray and Angle from like that, 90s, if you will, and then you had like the new wave with Orton. And I feel like that match just had everything, including the ending. How can you not be emotional for Ray winning and tributing that, not just the Royal Rumble win, but, winning the title for Eddie Guerrero. For me, that was such a cool moment in wrestling history, and it has to go down as one of the most emotional endings for sure. So love that one. Number 2, we're probably going to be talking about this one throughout the night, but one of my favorite personal matches. I was just so invested. I was laughing, I was swearing, I was all over the place. I was on the edge of my seat, and it's Hulk Hogan versus The Rock. Dude, like, Skydome was off the chain. The fans were going crazy. We talked about. I think we talked about Austin and Hitman before. This was another example of that, right? Of turning them mid-match and everything. And man, it just hit. I couldn't take my eyes off the screen for 1 second, and I could watch that match like every day, honestly, and I'll never get tired of it. It puts a smile on my face, especially for me. Like, you talk about camera angles, Kyron, when Hogan was there and he starts seeing the reaction and he's looking at the crowd like, oh my God, like, he has a smile on his face. He's like, he couldn't help it. He's like, what is happening here? Like, it was crazy. It was deafening in the Skydome. I loved it. And then finally, number 1, but again, no particular order, but one match that I always loved was Owen Hart versus Bret Hart, WrestleMania 10. Best curtain jerk opener match ever. I will say that. I will go on the record. That is my opinion. And the massive feud. I mean, God, like, how long was that in the mix for? Like a year? Like, that build was since Survivor Series, but like, dude, like that thing was so well done, and I just wish I could have got a little bit more out of it. I wish it could have continued onto when Bret won the title. I wish Owen could have went after it. I mean, I think they could have got even a little bit more out of it. But either way, one of the best matches ever. I think Madison Square Garden was the perfect crowd for that. Like, you couldn't write a better story. So Owen Hart versus Bret Hart. That's my number 1.
Well done.
All right. Nice list, Sean.
Okay, guys. So I'm going to start this off with some fairly traditional ones, and then I think we all will be really thrown off by the last one. So no particular order, but I am going to leave the last one for last because I think it's going to be a little bit of a crazy one. So number one, we're talking about Brett versus Austin at WrestleMania 13 for favorite matches of all time in WrestleMania history. It told an amazing story. Literally a double heel / face turn in the same exact match. How cool is that? Brett comes in as, I guess you could say a moderate face on his way to being heel. Austin coming in as a moderate heel on his way to being maybe the biggest babyface ever. The switch happened during this match. Even Ken Shamrock looked like he was going to be a big-time player at the time. It didn't necessarily turn out that way, but the story was told so well. Austin and the sharpshooter bleeding, just classic wrestling 101 as far as storytelling is concerned. Speaking of storytelling, I got to piggyback off of Kyron and say Savage versus Steamboat at WrestleMania 3. I think that was a tremendous match, over 20 near falls. Elizabeth playing her position in the outside, just her nervousness and her worry about her man. Macho Man on the verge of superstardom 1 year later, but this is where he really made a name for himself. Unbelievable.
Hey, Sean, can I jump in there real quick? I want to ask you something. Because you have a lot of knowledge on that match, and it's impressive. I didn't even know there was 20 false finishes. That's sick.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this. Do you know if that was like one of the longest sort of matches at that point for WrestleMania history? Because I think they went on for like 23, 25 minutes, no?
It was. And I was so revolutionary about it because Steamboat and Savage could go, and nobody had ever pushed them to that level. I mean, you would know that Steamboat would get pushed in '89 with Flair. 2 years later, Savage would get pushed a year late. Go ahead, Kyron.
I was actually going to comment on what Mountie just said. Actually, the match isn't as long as you think it is. It's only 14:35. The match isn't,
really?
The match isn't as long as you know. I just looked it up. The match is only 14 minutes and 35 seconds. It wasn't that long of a match.
Well, so much longer.
That's kind of where I was going to go with it, and that's a good point. But like, it was the longest 14 minutes you could ever imagine, but like in a good way. You know what I'm trying to say?
Exactly.
Like, there was so much stuff in that match, from George Steele interfering, like I said, 20 near falls, to Earl Hebner or Dave Hebner, whoever you want to call, actually slapping the mat 3 times, but the first time was to jump over to break, to put himself in position to count, and the crowd went crazy thinking it was 3, but it was really 2. Jesse Ventura saying to the crowd watching from a closed circuit on a pay-per-view, it was only 2. It was only 2 because the crowd thought it was 3. Just amazing. Macho Man pinning Steamboat for about a 30 count, but the referee was knocked out. The first time in a significant match where you saw the referee get knocked out, which set the stage for matches like yours, Mountie, at WrestleMania 6. Just unbelievable. HBK Undertaker 1 from 25 is the greatest match I've ever seen. I love Shawn Michaels. I think he's the greatest to ever do it. I have acquired over the years, and especially dealing with you gentlemen, more of a respect for the Undertaker. Not saying I didn't respect him before. Undertaker has leapt from about 11 or 12 on my all-time greatest list all the way up to number 6 or 7 because of conversations that I've had with you gentlemen. So, the greatest match ever. One of my, again, favorite is the key to this list. Rock Austin 3 is one of my favorite matches of all time. I really enjoyed Rock Austin 3. I love the storyline, especially the aftermath of Stone Cold leaving the business, especially us being investigative at the time and trying to figure out what's going on behind the scenes, finding out Austin was sick the night before, heart palpitations the night before. 3 rock bottoms, Rock finally getting over the hump, beating Stone Cold at WrestleMania for the first time. The crowd, who was pro Austin, but cheered for The Rock when he got the 3 count because they knew what it meant historically for The Rock's career. Probably the last thing The Rock needed to accomplish in his career to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. So unbelievable. And here's the one that's going to really throw you guys off if you weren't thrown off already by Rock Austin 3. The Miz versus John Cena is one of my favorite, not best, one of my favorite matches of all time. I have so much respect, and this is not just because of the recent events that have just taken place. Back in 2010, when The Miz won the title via Money in the Bank against Randy Orton, The Miz has paid his dues time and time and time again. The Miz is a wrestling fan from the time he was a kid. The Miz made himself look like a complete dork on The Real World by doing wrestling moves on MTV, and nobody was, who the hell is this kid? he took that passion. He got a foot in the door. He was the host of SmackDown, whatever that means. He, won tag titles and intercontinental titles and United States titles and would never, ever be a world champion. And somehow he ends up in the same ring with John Cena and The Rock and walks out of WrestleMania, the WrestleMania main event, as world champion. I love the story. No, the match wasn't that great. No, historically, it's not going to land on anybody's top 20, much less a top 10. But for what The Miz had to go through to get to that moment and the love for the business that I think we can all relate to, that makes my top 5 WrestleMania favorite matches.
You know what? That was kind of like his Jericho in the triple threat when Jericho won versus Triple H and was it Benoit or no? Triple H and Shawn Michaels. You know what I'm talking about? When the Undisputed, we won both belts. When Jericho won both belts.
We beat Rock and Austin in the
same night.
Yes, right. I'm mixing up 2 triple threats. That was like, for me, like when Miz won that match, like I didn't think nobody thought Jericho was going to win that match. Nobody, in my opinion. And to be honest, nobody thought Miz was going to win that match either. So for me, that was like a Chris Jericho moment for him. Like that propelled him in a good way,
I look at The Miz in 2010 going into that match as one of us. He's somebody who was overlooked. He's somebody who was not taken seriously, even with the belt. You have the most prestigious belt in the history of professional wrestling over your shoulder, and you're literally playing third fiddle to your opponent and the host of WrestleMania, whatever that means.
Yeah.
And you win. Again, in-ring, bell to bell, probably not in anybody's top 20, much less top 10. But for what it means to The Miz and what it signifies for wrestling fans all over the world, that match makes my top 5. I am so proud of him. I was so proud of him then, and I'm so proud of him now.
Great list.
That definitely threw me for a loop. I'll give you that one, Sean. That was a curveball. I wasn't expecting to see that match.
Yeah,
I wasn't either. All right. My top 5 list, no particular order. Rock, Stone Cold, WrestleMania 17. My favorite match between the two. Besides, the Austin Hilton at the end, everything else, and the lead up to the match, the promo package, everything was spectacular. These two always had great chemistry, if you're asking me together. Next on my list, Shawn Michaels versus Kurt Angle, WrestleMania 21. Not only my favorite WrestleMania of all time, but these two absolutely stole the show, bro. 2 guys were on 2 different brands at the time, and both guys, arguably at the time, were the 2 best wrestlers in the company. So it was bound to be an instant classic as soon as they announced that these two were going to have a match, and they did not disappoint at all. Third on my list, Bret Hart versus Stone Cold, WrestleMania 13. I'm not going to go too much in it because you guys already elaborated on everything, why that match was so great. Next on my list, a match that I truly love. I love the story in this match. Everything about this match, from the build-up to the match itself, and Sean, you were there for it in person. Undertaker versus Triple H, end of an era Hell in a Cell match. Absolutely fantastic match. Loved it. The build-up to the match when, Triple H is refusing to face Undertaker. Undertaker's calling him a coward, calling him out. They finally accept the match. They make it a Hell in a Cell match. End of an era, Shawn Michaels, the special guest referee. Everything about this match was great, from the storytelling in the match to Shawn's emotion when he's, Triple H is beating the shit out of Undertaker and he has so much respect for the Undertaker. He's trying to convince Triple H to stop doing what he's doing, but Triple H realizes he has to do this because Taker asked for it and he's going to get the job done. The greatest 1-2 kick out in the history of wrestling. Sweet Chin Music pedigree. Everybody thought it was over. You thought it was it. He kicked out. Crowd went insane. Sean, you were in the crowd that night. The crowd lost their mind. I was watching at home.
Nuts.
It was insane. It was a great match and a great moment. And number 1, Undertaker, Shawn Michaels, WrestleMania 25. The greatest match I've ever seen in my life. I don't even know. So, no. All right. Let's look at some of the let's look at some of these comments. Let me look at some people's lists. John Cena versus HH versus Randy Orton, WrestleMania 24. Undertaker versus HBK, WrestleMania 26. Batista versus Undertaker, WrestleMania 23. Edge versus Foley, WrestleMania 22. John Cena versus HH, WrestleMania 22. Austin versus Rock, WrestleMania 17.
I like the John Cena versus Triple H versus Randy Orton WrestleMania 24. That was a sick fucking match, dude.
That's a good match.
Austin versus
so
Rock.
Amazing.
Austin versus Rock, WrestleMania 17. Undertaker versus HH in the Era. Hulk Hogan versus Warrior. Let's see. Hogan versus Andre. Brett versus Austin. Cena versus HBK. Taker versus HBK. So you guys got some good listening. You guys have some good listening here. Good list. Good honorable mentions. But I think everybody. I think everybody should have HBK versus Undertaker. That's the greatest match I've ever seen in my life. So,
Endless Blank says, I thought 26 was better personally. I thought 26 told the better story, but if we're going from the in-ring action, I give it to 25. 26 definitely had the better build.
I do think that 26 had
26 had the better story. 26 had the better story for sure. All right, let's move on to since we did 80s movies, we'll do 90s movies. We'll go ahead and knock that one out of the way. We'll start with Sean. Let's see what your list is looking like, Sean.
Okay, brother. Listen, we're gonna go with 1991, Necessary Roughness, football movie, classic, underdog. Texas State, the fictitious Texas State University was the former national champions. All their good players got suspended due to violations by the NCAA. They pick up this coach who's like a hard disciplinarian. They get a quarterback who only had 1 year of eligibility left in his college career. He was like 35 years old, hadn't played in 10 years. They lose all but last two of their games. They tie the second to last game, and they beat the number one team in the country in their last game in an epic, awesome, comedic / drama-filled movie. I loved it. 1991, Boys in the Hood. The historical significance of this, it's just off the page. Obviously, Ice Cube, Cuba Gooding Jr., the whole 9 yards. What it meant for the hood, what it meant for the world, what it meant for everybody who was watching. It told the story. It told a necessary story. It showed the world what the hood was really all about. It showed people who think they were hood what the hood was all about, and it really told everybody what was going on. House Party 1990, one of the most fun movies I've ever seen, man. I had so much fun with that movie. I was a kid. I mean, I obviously saw it more in my conscious lifetime about 3 or 4 years later on videotape, but it was so much fun. Nobody has not done the Kid and Play dance, even if they were just trying to do it for fun.
Everybody's done it.
Everyone's done that.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just something that's going to live etched in stone forever. A little later in the 90s, a lot of people think this movie was too long. I might even think it was too long, but I really enjoyed Titanic. I thought it was an awesome movie. We all know that the boat was going to go down, but the story they told with the young lady and whatever his name is, exactly. I thought that was really, really good. I think, let me take a little page out of Kyron's book about the cinematography of the movie. What an amazing depiction of what people may have went through during that particular time in real life for them to reenact it. Literally, simultaneously, you're going through a massive tragedy while you're watching a love story unfold. Unbelievable. And I'm going to go with something really fun that I think we'll all appreciate, if not, may not be on your list, but we'll all appreciate. I'm going to go with Home Alone. That was a lot of fun. Macaulay Culkin was a lot of fun. Joe Pesci was a lot of fun. I thought Coming to New York or Back to New York or Lost in New York, whatever it was called in 92 was a little bit lesser of value. The original Home Alone was really, really good. That's 1990.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, Sean, see, I've always been of this mindset. I prefer Home Alone 2, but I think Home Alone 1 is the better movie. Like, I like Home Alone 2 more because I laughed at it more. But Home Alone, like, if you ask me, which movie do you think is the superior film, I would say Home Alone 1.
And I want to piggyback off that point because out of those two movies, Home Alone 2 had the funniest moment. Home Alone 2, where where Macaulay Culkin threw the paint cans or the bricks, I should say, off the top of the roof and hit him in the face twice back to back. Out of all the movies, that was the funniest moment.
I think for me, Home Alone 2 also gets a nod because it has Tim Curry in it. And Tim Curry is just one of my favorite actors. The dude is hilarious and everything he's in.
Nice.
You know who else was in Home Alone 2? I ain't gonna say his name. Just think about it.
We know who. I know who you're talking about. We know
our former whatchamacallit.
Yeah, we don't need to bring that up.
All right, I'll read my list. Sean, you got some similar movies. You got good taste, my guy. You got some good taste.
I already know what number one. I already know what Malik's number one movie is. I already know what your number one movie is, Malik. I already know. All right,
so we had two movies in common. So I definitely have Titanic on my list. One of my favorite movies ever. I don't care if people say it was too long. It's a classic. Mm-hmm. And Home Alone. Home Alone is definitely on there for me. Home Alone 1 was always better to me. Home Alone 2 is my second favorite Christmas movie ever. I have to watch it every year on the holidays. I don't see how you could. How can you not? How can you not watch it every year on the holidays? So
it's a classic.
All right, for the next three, I have Friday on there. Friday was Boys in the Hood was good, but Friday's also the hood too. So okay. I got to show some love to Friday, man.
I'm not mad at you.
No, I don't. No, the Friday movie. The Friday movie is not my favorite one. My favorite one and the best one to me is Friday After Next, the Christmas one. That's my favorite one. But that was made after. That was made after the 90s.
Terry Crews made that movie.
Don't be sorry, ho. Be careful,
bro. Everything about that. If you think about how great that movie is, there are so many lines that people catchphrase still to this. There's like many lines from that movie that people say to this day, bro. For that movie. That's an instant classic, bro.
I was on my couch before. I was watching a Tupac video. I was like, Tupac, yeah, talk gangster. You know?
Everything about that movie, bro, is like obviously it gets away more towards the hood because Friday is more about the hood. But comedy wise, Friday After Next is at all time high, bro. So. All right, next on my list. This one, I don't know if this will surprise you or not, but I have Men in Black, the first one. Love Men in Black, bro. First of all, Will Smith's one of my favorite actors of all time. There's not many. There may be maybe two movies that he's ever made that I really didn't like, but every other movie he's made to me was like I always loved it. Men in Black to me is a classic. Love Men in Black. The second, third one were okay, but the first one. For me, like I'm one of those people. I don't know about you guys, but I'm one of those people for like it's hard for the sequel to be better than the first one, especially if the first one is really good. You know what I mean? So if the first one is really good, it's hard for me to say that the sequel is going to be better. I have a lot of expectations. You know what I mean? So
the other thing too, hold up, real quick. The other thing too is that movie had a sick soundtrack. Men in Black, the first one.
Yeah. For sure, that's a banger soundtrack. And you know what? You know what I always I don't know if you guys thought about this in the movie, but I always thought like for some reason every time I watched the movie, the beginning scene, how in the fuck does this man run this much in this movie in the beginning scenes, bro? Like they had to, you can't convince me they didn't do some type of cuts or something because if not his cardio had to be at an all-time high because. Same with like Bad Boys too, bro. He always has these scenes where he runs in the movie and he's like chasing after somebody for like a period of time. I'm like, Will Smith's cardio has got to be at an all-time high, bro. Like his cardio was at I need to figure something out. And number one, greatest movie ever. I'm just gonna say it right now. The greatest movie of all time, The Lion King. I don't want to hear it, bro. The greatest movie I've ever seen in my life. Nothing will ever top The Lion King in my book, bro.
Yeah, best animation, best cartoon, maybe. But best movie ever.
No, greatest movie ever. Greatest movie ever.
It's his favorite. This is his favorite movie
ever. Greatest movie all time, bro. There's not a better movie than The Lion King, bro. There's not a better movie than The Lion King.
You're fucking tweaking, man.
Casablanca.
Dude.
No. Lion King is the greatest.
You got it. Animation?
Yeah. Greatest movie.
I wouldn't say it's my favorite animated movie.
Greatest
ever.
Best movie ever created. Out of every movie that was ever made.
We have, you took all the great actors of everything in the world, and you're just like, that's not good enough. Lion King.
Not good enough.
Me and Malik, with me and Malik being Disney fans, we are. I already knew what Malik was.
Greatest movie to ever live, bro. The Lion King, bro. The greatest movie ever, bro. I don't know where my little one is. I got a little symbol somewhere.
So let me tell you something real funny. My cat, right? Not the one that you just saw, but I have a little gray one, and she likes it if there's a bug on the ceiling. Let's say in the summertime, a little mosquito comes in, and she'll be on the floor, and she's gonna meow at me. She's like, meh. And then I'm like, okay, Simba. That's what I'll say, and I'll pick her up and I'll hold her up like this, So she knows what Simba means. So I just wanted to kind of throw that in. You know what I mean?
Yeah, bro.
Lion King is the greatest cartoon movie ever. I
agree.
Yeah.
Best Disney movie, 100%.
But
I wouldn't say it's the best Disney movie.
I salute you, man. If that's how you feel, bro.
That's ballsy. It's a ballsy thing to say.
You're not going to convince me that any movie is better than that movie. I will not be convinced.
Malik knows that's one not my favorite.
It's not about convincing you. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear it.
Greatest Disney movie. For sure, greatest Disney movie ever. Not even close.
No, it's not.
And by far, nothing is greater than Lion King.
On there.
Nothing's greater than Lion King, bro.
You know what? We'll give you another chance. We'll do the rest of the list, and then we'll come back to you, and you can tell us what your real number one is of real movies.
It's just the Lion King.
That's his number one.
It's the Lion King, bro. Everything about this movie was great, bro. First of all, let me tell you something.
I love you, but man, that's
the plot twist of this movie is insane, bro. The soundtrack is great. Everything about this movie is phenomenal, bro. And you gotta think of how evil this man is to kill his own flesh and blood just so he can take the throne of being king, bro. Look at the plot twist that he did to do it, bro.
The Stampede.
As a fan of this movie, I never really, obviously when you're a kid, you just watch movies because you just watch movies, right? So you never really pay attention to details. But I really didn't fall in love with it as much as I got older, because I never really understood why he killed his brother. I just saw he wanted to be king, right? So I was like, okay, that's fine. He wants to be king. Cool, whatever. But then you look at the things that he did to get to that, bro, to try to sacrifice his little nephew, little Simba, bro, to sacrifice his little nephew because he knew he was going to do something stupid, to have the stampede come down, the hyenas chasing the stampede. Of course, as a father, he's going to go save his child. Why would you not just save your child?
Talk that.
He's going to go save his child. So he goes in there, and you know what really.
You're making me a believer. Keep going.
You know what really pisses. You know what really
Don't
pisses
do it,
me off.
No.
You know what really pisses me off about Scar in this movie is that as his brother is down there saving his child, he's walking along the fucking mountain, just looking at him like, oh yeah, I can't wait for this shit to be out. I'm like, this motherfucker is sick. And of course, he jumped up to the rock, and he's like, brother, help me. And Scar's like, no, motherfucker, it's time, bro. It's time for you to go, and it's my time, bro. And just throws him off the cliff. He's dead. And bro, you can't tell me you did not shed tears, bro. When little Simba comes around the corner, and he's like, Dad, get up. Bro, the emotion is there, bro.
Yeah, I agree.
The emotion, and it gets more sick than this. Scar playing it all cool, right? Oh, Simba, look what you done, man. Killed your dad. Look what you just did, bro. You just killed your own dad, bro. Scar, what do I do? You gotta run away. Don't ever come back either. You gotta run away. The hyenas come up. And you know what he said? You know what he tells the hyenas? Kill him. Are you fucking serious? Bro, that's the greatest movie ever, bro. It's the greatest movie I've ever seen in my life. The greatest movie I've ever seen in my life, bro.
You're making it seem like betrayal was never a part of movie.
But that betrayal, that is cold-blooded right there, bro. That is hard, cold-blooded shit right there,
what's more heartbreaking?
You've never seen Vikings, have you?
It's close.
I have seen Vikings. Good TV show.
What about when Bambi's mother died?
That's up there. Too. But that's up there. But here's what I say, Sean. This is why I say that the Mufasa scene is better, because you didn't see Bambi's mom die. You never saw her when she got killed. They never showed her when she got died. You saw Mufasa on the ground, dead, bro. Like, wasn't moving. And then Simba comes up and he's like, Dad, what, you're not moving. What's going on, bro? Like, you gotta get up, bro. And he screams for help. His little voice, help. Oh my God, bro.
It's definitely, especially
it hits, bro. It hits, bro. And the comeback story, I'm not gonna get into it because I don't want to be on too long. But the comeback story when he came, bro. Listen, bro.
Oh yeah, who wasn't going for him?
I saw this movie. Listen to me.
It was a great story.
I saw this play. I saw the play in theaters. I had the fucking the goddamn fucking tidy whities as a kid. I had the fucking pajamas. I had the shirts. As you can see, I had the stuffed animals, bro. Everything was Lion King, bro. Everything was Lion King in my house, bro. I was not the nighty light, bro. Everything was Lion King, bro. If Mufasa was a pro wrestler, he would have been my favorite over John Cena. I'll say that right now. Mufasa would have been my favorite over John Cena.
Mufasa was on another level, though. Like
Mufasa was on another level.
will say that Lion King is the greatest cartoon movie of all time.
And best Disney movie.
I'm not gonna say that.
Yes.
Sure. Malik knows it's not my favorite Disney film, but
that's a different debate because I don't know what's better Disney wise than Lion King.
Well, that's not fair. That's not fair.
No.
Even though I haven't.
Had to get on a little rant there. My favorite movie.
All good.
I felt that all up in here, man.
It's a great movie, bro. It makes you feel all types of emotions, bro. You cry, and then when he comes back, you're so happy. Like, yes, you gotta, bro. It's just to me, if you're gonna watch movies like that, especially like cartoony movies like that, if you can hate a villain as much as you hate, because I hated Scar when I was a kid, bro. I couldn't stand him, bro. I was so mad, bro. And if you can hate somebody with that so much passion, and then feel the emotion at the end when Simba comes back, and you're like, you got to take it, Simba. You got to take back what's yours, bro. Everything about the emotion movie, I don't know, bro. It made me feel some type of way as a kid, bro. Even as an adult, it makes me feel.
Yeah, it teaches you.
Scar thought he was ahead of the table. Scar thought he was ahead of the table until Simba came back.
So Simba came around.
You know, like it teaches you also you can't run away from your problems. You know, like you got to come back and
it's motivation.
You got to face. Like you can't just go and have a good time and just forget your past. Like you know, something just got to get done.
The monkey said a famous quote in that movie. It's a very good quote. Or the baboon, I should say. No, monkey, the baboon. He said a famous quote in the movie. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it'll come to me. But it's just a great movie, bro.
I know the quote you're done to say. The quote is, he hits him on the head. Why'd you do that? Doesn't matter, it's in the past, but it hurts. The past can hurt. But the way I see it, you can either learn from it, run from it, or learn from it. He swings the stick at him, he ducks.
Yeah,
great, less great.
Very good. Bro. No, it's great. It's absolute great knowledge. To be honest, what a great year Grade 6 was, man. I think like I watched that movie and then we read The Outsiders. It was the best school ever. Shit, we watched watched that movie in school.
I'm watching Lion King as soon as we get off here. I'm not gonna lie.
It's a great movie, bro. It's a great movie. All right, I took up a lot of time, so you guys, go quick as you can.
All right. I think it's my turn, right?
Yeah, well, let's start with you, Monty. Let's see what your list looking like. Oh, honorable mention though. I forgot to honorable mention. Aladdin. The second best to me.
Yo, Aladdin. Bro. Not only was that movie sick, but like the video game was sick. Yeah. Do you remember the video game on Super Nintendo? That shit was bomb, bro. Or I think it was on Genesis too, right?
Aladdin, the second
hard game.
Movie.
Hard game. Oh,
number two. If Lion King wasn't a movie, Aladdin would be number one.
Okay.
But
unfortunately, we're gonna talk about some men choices here now. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just now that the boys have gone to bed, let's talk about some men movies. I'm just joking.
All right, good night, everybody. See you later.
You know what? Yeah. Okay, say goodbye to Mountie. Bye, booted. And what I like about you, Malik? I like that you're so passionate and you're so sure of what, if you have a pick, you have a pick. And that's what I like about you. There's no there's no deferring you or any of that stuff. So I like that, and I respect that. But for my top 5, look, I have some honorable mentions. I have a couple. I'll just blow by them real quick.
Yeah, I got another honorable mention too. I don't know if you have it. I got another one. I was gonna make my list, but I had to change it. Was Jumanji. Jumanji was on my list, but then I had to replace it with Titanic.
I see a trend with your selection. So we're gonna switch gears, but we're also gonna talk about some great '90s classics, and these aren't even on my list. All right, Cruel Intentions. I don't know if you guys ever seen that one with Ryan Phillippe, Sarah Michelle Gellar. What's the other one? Reese Witherspoon? No.
I don't think I have seen that one. I don't think I've seen that.
What's her name? The blonde chick. Is her name Reese Witherspoon? Yeah, I think so. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Either way. So we got that. We have Titanic, as Sean mentioned. Classic. Saw it in theaters. Loved every minute of it. Space Jam. Space Jam for me was epic. One of the best animation films, cartoons, whatever, crossover of all time. Looking forward to seeing the LeBron one just for that reason. but I don't think it'll ever be able to top the original. Another honorable mention: Ninja Turtles. Massive fan. The original Ninja Turtles was a sick movie, maybe underrated in some cases. Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park was one of my favorites as a kid. T-Rex being my favorite dinosaur. That movie was sick. It was scary. It was realistic in a weird way. Maybe not realistic, but I thought they did a great job making it so it was super realistic. The effects in that movie was just.
I don't know about you, Mountie, but I'm a big dinosaur nerd too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So, and then finally on my honorable mentions that didn't make the list because it was super hard. Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat for me was an amazing movie. It came out at the right time. The video games, just everything was about Mortal Kombat. At least in my school, it was huge. And the movie, although like some people give it bad reviews, at the time, I thought it did a really good job. That's just my opinion. Finally, my top 5 though. I'm going to start with a mob classic. Goodfellas, one of the best mob movies of all time. You had some great actors in that one as well. My second one had to be Fight Club. Brad Pitt, Edward Norton. Fight Club is a classic. And if anybody hasn't ever seen that movie, I recommend you watch it now. Get off this podcast. Watch it. No, just kidding. We'll finish this podcast, then watch it. I mentioned Terminator in my favorite 80s movies, so I'm going to say T2. Terminator 2 in, favorite 90s movies, 100%. I can watch that every week. Without a doubt, every time I watch that, I just love life that much more.
You like the second one better than the first one?
I did. Not by much.
I prefer Terminator 2.
Bro, Terminator 2, the effects in that T-1000, the whole story. Oh, man. John Connor, Ed Furlong. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say, and that's something I'm gonna touch on this more when I get to my list, but because when I talk about CGI, but a lot of the effects in that film were real. They really did crash a truck. They really did fly the helicopter. They really used the animatronic when he cut him in half. They really used the real animatronic. That's one thing I love about the film's effects. They were real.
They were real. Yeah, exactly. That was one of those movies where you didn't mind watching like the behind the scenes stuff after to see how they did stuff and whatever. I was super intrigued. And finally, the last two that I have are really underrated, not talked about enough. The first one is Green Mile. One of my favorite movies of all time.
Oh my gosh, bro.
Top 5, bro. We talk about great story. This is what I'm saying to you, Malik. It's like you talk about a great story. That's like I like Lion King. Don't get me wrong, but Green Mile, bro. Green Mile is a good movie, bro. That moved anybody.
Especially the ending. Oh my god, the ending is.
Oh my god, dude! I have it. I'm watching it again this weekend because it's been years since I've seen it. Such a good film. Anybody that hasn't watched that, please watch it. And then finally, believe it or not, my favorite movie of all time happens to be right on the cusp of the 90s. I think it was 1999, and Edward Norton's my favorite actor. I'm going with American History X. That right there, that story, the fact that you can change even if you hate a certain thing, for me it wasn't just a great movie. For me, it taught me everything in a way that, like, I don't know how to explain it, guys. Like, it was eye-opening. It was eye-opening for me to see that people could actually be that way in the first place. But it was also super eye-opening for me to say, I know it was a movie, but I do believe that, people can change in a certain way, in a certain light. And that movie was so underrated, bro. Like 2 hours of just like the story about he was in the prison and he comes out and his brother's following the same footsteps at him and he's trying to like persuade him to not do that. It was amazing. So that's my top 5. In fact, that's my favorite movie of all time.
All right, Kyron, floor is yours.
Well, first, let me bring up one honorable mention. I can bring a few, but I just want to bring up one honorable mention. The first Bad Boys movie. I'm surprised no one had it on that list, but Bad Boys 1, I think, I really enjoyed that movie. But it's an honorable mention. Number 5, Number 5 is Jurassic Park. This is a movie that changed the game. This is the movie that put CGI on the map. Yeah, when I did a project back in high school with CGI, this film was referenced a lot in my project because it's that much of an important film in the history of cinema. Interesting thing about the film, half the time they used the CGI for T-Rex, other times they actually used a giant robotic T-Rex, which, once again, the blending helps make it better. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of animation, so I have a few animated films. Number 4 is Toy Story 2. I think it's the best Toy Story of all of them. I know Malik disagrees with that. But number 2, I have Toy Story 2. Number 3, this is, to me, the best Disney movie of this era, Aladdin. The animation, the music, Robin Williams. I think this is the best Disney film. Not the best, my favorite Disney film, but the best of this era. Number 2, Friday. I mean, Malik said it best. They say this quote was in that movie that we still quote this very day. I don't think I can say much about Friday. It hasn't already been said. And number 1, this is, I'm gonna go to DreamWorks, and Malik knows it's my favorite DreamWorks movie. One of the greatest animated films of all time, The Prince of Egypt.
Yeah, he loves that movie. That's one of his favorites.
Not mad at you, man. Not mad at you.
Yeah, that's one of his favorites, Prince of Egypt for sure. It's a good movie though. It's a great movie. Somebody said Goodfellas. Goodfellas was a really good movie. Another honorable mention too. There was another one that I wanted to mention. I forgot off the top of my head. It'll come back to me eventually. There's so many good movies in the 90s. 90s like the peak for everything, bro. TV shows, movies. It was the peak for music. I mean, it was so many things. There so many good things that happened without in the 90s. So let's move on. Back to some wrestling for you guys. We'll do top 5 WrestleMania promo packages. I'll give my list real quick. I'll run through my list, and then I'll let you guys break down yours. So for my top 5 favorite WrestleMania promo packages of all time, no particular order. There are a lot that can be on here, and I tried to vary because we talked about, Rock and Austin earlier. They had 2 good promo packages. I think they had one at 17 and 19 that were really good. But I had to, debate between one of the 2, and it's, I had to break down between one. So no order either. Number 5, one of the most disappointing matches in WrestleMania history to me, but had such a great build-up, bro. The promo package to me was fire, though. Triple H and Randy Orton, WrestleMania 25. The build-up was absolutely incredible. I loved everything about this build-up and the match. Didn't live up to the expectations, unfortunately. But the promo package is absolutely fire to me, bro. It gives me goosebumps every time I watch it. My next one would be John Cena versus Bray Wyatt, WrestleMania 30. They had a really good promo package for the WrestleMania. They had a lot of good promo packages for that WrestleMania, honestly. You look back at it. But John Cena versus Bray Wyatt, WrestleMania 30, man. Very good promo package with Eminem being in there with the legacy music and everything. It was really good, man. It was really good. Did you catch my number 5, Mountie? Could you hear what I said? Number 5 for me?
Sorry, no, I didn't. Which one?
Number 5 for me was Triple H versus Randy Orton, WrestleMania 25 promo package. Loved the build-up. The build-up was really good. The match didn't live up to the expectations, but the promo package.
Yeah. Oh, I know. So good.
The promo package is in my top 5 favorites. So the next was John Cena versus Bray Wyatt, WrestleMania 30. Next would be also WrestleMania 30, Daniel Bryan Monster promo with Triple H. Fucking amazing promo package they did.
Monster?
Daniel Bryan's Monster promo. The beginning.
Yeah, so good.
Triple H, so good. I mean, I don't know how anybody couldn't get hyped. That was the opening to WrestleMania too. So that was incredible promo package. Number 2, Rock versus Austin, WrestleMania 17. I mean, I don't see how anybody can have that on the list. I mean, it's iconic, legendary. Limp Bizkit, My Way. It's incredible. And number 1, to me, the greatest WrestleMania promo package ever: Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker, WrestleMania 26. And Streak versus Career. It was amazing. Running up that hill, that shit was so good, bro. Whoever made that promo package needs to be in the Hall of Fame because that promo package was outstanding. Literally, we talked about, obviously 26 had a better story than 25, but you can literally watch that promo package and get the whole story. From you get the entire story just watching the promo package. If you didn't even watch wrestling and I said, hey, you're gonna watch. I'm gonna put you onto this match, but you gotta watch the promo package first. You can understand what's leading up to it. You can watch the promo package, and by the time the match starts, you'll be caught up on what's about to happen.
I agree.
The promo and it was amazing. The promo package was amazing. A lot of people put Rock and Austin number 1, but to me, that's better to me just by a hair. So, we'll start with Mountie this time. We'll mix it up a little bit. So, go ahead.
Okay. It's hard to come up with a particular order, but I'm gonna try. In this case, I'm gonna try.
Yeah, mine was in no order. It's just
Okay. So, all right, let's talk about obviously Austin versus Rock, WrestleMania 17. Come on, guys, like that to this day, it's amazing and wow, that's all I gotta say. HBK versus Taker, that running up that hill, man. I'm telling you that I knew about that placebo song before that promo was made. I heard it. I think I heard it in an OC episode, if I'm not mistaken. And I love that song immediately. And the fact that they used it in that promo, I was like, perfect. Like, thank God, this is amazing. So that's my second one. Third one would have to be, for me, again, going back to one of my favorite matches, one of my favorite promo packages was the build for Randy Orton versus Rey Mysterio versus Kurt Angle.
Yes.
Dude, like, Randy Orton bringing up Eddie Guerrero, and saying that Eddie was down in hell. Like, that was some of his best heel work almost of all time. Kyron, yeah, please.
And I don't know if you're gonna bring it up, but I have to. The song that plays during that promo, I dare you, that is one of the best themes. As much as I know Big Time is the theme WrestleMania 22 is associated with, but I Dare You is the much better song. I don't know, something about that thing that always makes me emotional for some reason.
Nobody talks about Big Time as far as one of the greatest. Big Time is
No, I Dare You is the much better song.
Much better. And to me, that was like the theme. Even though it was called Big Time and all that, I understand why they used it, but like that I Dare You package, that video package, dude, I could watch, like,
so good. Yeah,
there's certain promos out there, gentlemen, that for me, like, I hate to say it, sometimes, like, I'll rewatch a video package like 3 times before I even get to the fucking match, and this is one of them. You know what I mean? Straight up. So amazing. And the final 2, I'm going to start with one that I've mentioned on this channel before. The implosion of Evolution. So the Batista versus Triple H, that video package, guys, if that doesn't get you in the mood for a main event match, there's something wrong with you. Like, your heart's not beating. That whole build, that 2-year build, how they packaged it all together, and the music that they used, and the intensity in the promos, and like everything fit, guys. Every single promo and every single thing that they said all fit into place to put that excellent piece of a promo in 3 or 4 minutes, or whatever it was.
That was a great build up, man. I lost as being a kid at the time, bro. When he fucking powerbombed Triple H to that table, bro. I lost my mind.
God, right?
He looked like a legit animal, bro. Like when he powerbombed to that table, and JR on the commentary. Oh my God, what a power!
Whoever came up with the idea for Batista to do the thumbs down, like, hats off to you. And the fact that he was doing that when he was doing the Batista bomb, like that, there's certain things that are just creative genius.
That became his thing. Yeah, that became his thing.
It's so basic, but it's such a storyteller. Like, he didn't have to say anything. Just thumbs down, bang, clothesline, power bomb through the table. You're see you later, old man. Ric Flair's out too, And finally, one of my favorite of all time, obviously, was Randy Orton versus Triple H versus John Cena. That video package, guys, where Orton was just killing everything in sight. Like, it wasn't quite his Viper gimmick, but he was still a very good champion for the better half of that year. And then Triple H and Cena both coming back from injury, and how they came back and all that stuff. Like,
they used that Blu-ray instrumental and stuff, and it was just like,
I'll tell you what, that was.
Oh man, I loved it.
He talked about the Miz winning earlier, bro. I don't think anybody predicted Randy Orton was going to win that match. Nobody.
I did. And I think a little bit of it was biased because I wanted him to win that match. But really, I was like, I think Orton needed that victory for his career because, you know, the year after there or whatever it was, like he didn't get that moment against Triple H and everything else. And I felt like that. Well, that was his first big win at WrestleMania, was it not? Like that was huge.
Yeah.
23 Money in the Bank, nothing. 22 he lost the main event against Ray and Angle, like we mentioned before. 21 he lost to Taker. 20 he won, but it was a tag team match. So that was his first solo win. I was like, he's got to win this one.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think he was gonna win.
No,
I thought you seen him Triple H.
Triple H, they were in their prime. Orton was
I thought you seen the Triple H winning that.
The other two guys were.
I mean, obviously, being a John Cena fan, I for 100% thought John Cena was winning, especially him coming back from injury too. So I was like,
"Oh, bro." I'm telling you, around here, I was the only one that said he was going to win. So you're not wrong. Like nobody thought it, but I did. So you got the right guy on the camera here, buddy. And obviously, honorable mention to Daniel Bryan Monster. I forgot to mention that. That one moved me. You know, we talked about Owen Hart versus Bret Hart as a great opener, but that one to me has my heart as well. That was a sick match, dude. That was a great match. Hunter still had it, Ben. He put on a clinic as well. Him and Daniel Bryan loved it. You could feel that hate. You could feel it through the screen. You know.
All right, Kyron, what you got, Kyron?
Okay, my first two are gonna throw you guys for a loop. Number 5, mainly because I love this match, and as a kid, I was so excited to see it. I got John Cena versus Shawn Michaels WrestleMania 23. There's something about that promo patch that I always loved, even as a little kid. Even now, it's still in the match in general. It's one of the probably the most underrated WrestleMania main event. Number 4, this is really gonna shock you. John Cena versus The Rock WrestleMania 29. You know, as much as the match disappointed and the 28 match is better, people don't talk about the video package for John Cena versus The Rock WrestleMania 29, especially the song "Letters Are Gonna," Letters from the Sky. It shows Cena's downfall, then they come up, and of course. It's just something about that thing that it gets me like pumped up. And even though the match was disappointing, it was like I still think that was a very, very good video package. Was John Cena right in 29, and of course the top 3 are the big 3. It just depends on which order I'm gonna have them in. Number 3, I got Stone Cold versus The Rock WrestleMania 17. Once again, I mean it's not much about this promo package that hasn't already been said. The song "My Way" just fits perfectly with that package. The only problem I think I had with the video package, this is mine, was that like a whole minute of it focused on Deborah when she wasn't even involved in the final part of the match. I thought that was just unnecessary, but it's like the last, of course, of what Austin, saying I need to beat you more than anything you can ever imagine. You didn't know how far he's willing to go, and you see the match. Number 2, Shawn versus Undertaker WrestleMania 26. I think this is the match that cemented my love for the video packages. Sometimes I'll just watch the video package on YouTube and I ain't worry about the WrestleMania match. The match itself, not saying the match wasn't good, it was great. But that's the song running up that hill, just wow. I remember someone, even you guys probably seen it because it's someone recreated it on SmackDown vs. Raw 2010, and it's still great there. I love that video package. And number 1 is obviously Daniel Bryan's Monster promo. It gets me emotional every time I hear it. That song fits so well. The storyline and going to that WrestleMania, everyone wanted Daniel Bryan to win. It's my number 1 favorite video package.
All right, Sean, last one up.
All right, here we go. I'm gonna go with obviously Rock Austin 2. The surprise factor is definitely going with that. I think Rock Austin 2 from WrestleMania 17 is the greatest promo package of all time. I also think one of my favorites is on my list on mine is Rock Austin 3. I really enjoyed the turnaround in 19. I really enjoyed how they played that up a lot. So back and forth. Exactly. I think it was really awesome. I really enjoyed Triple H Undertaker 2 from 28. I like that.
Sure.
Well,
yeah,
that was well done. End of an era, the whole 9 yards. I thought that was really well done.
I think it's safe to say, like, you can't go wrong with either one of those HBK Taker matches or either one of those Triple H Taker matches. Mm-hmm. You can't go wrong.
I'm going to go with Cena Rock 1. I think that was really well done. I think the story of them coming together, especially with the year-long build-up, which led to a really cool package going into the match, was awesome. And no surprise, Taker HBK 2, WrestleMania 26, gives me goosebumps to this day.
I think it's really a rule. We have to have you if you're gonna do a video on the greatest video page, you gotta have Rock Alternate 2, and you gotta have Taker HBK 2. You gotta have those two matches.
Yeah, those two are synonymous. So let me look at some of these comments real quick. Let me see what you guys got here. Conrad's up in here. What's up, Conrad? Sleeper. He said HBK versus Taker, Rock versus Austin, Brett versus HBK, Rock versus Cena, Daniel Bryan Monster. Those are all good ones. Those are all good. I mean, he said HBK and Brett is a sleeper package.
The training. Yeah.
The training, yeah.
I see what he's saying. there.
Another honorable mention I'm going to throw out there, too. Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt, WrestleMania 31, man. I thought they had a really good promo package. If you haven't seen it, go on Google. Not Google, but YouTube and watch it. It's really good. It's got Johnny Cash. It's got Johnny Cash in there for the song. It's really good, man.
God's going to cut you down? Was that it?
No, this was
It wasn't Johnny Cash. God's gonna cut you down. You sure?
Yeah, but it wasn't that one. It was
you're right. It was the other one.
There's a man going around taking names. I can't think of the name of I can't think of the name of it.
Oh damn! I forgot it. I had another honorable mention that I completely just forgot.
Oh, when the man comes around. That's what the song. When the man comes around. That's what the song goes. By Johnny Cash. When the man comes around. Yeah, when the man comes around by Johnny Cash. Great promo package.
Oh, Vince versus Hogan at WrestleMania 19. I think is
Ain't No Grave, no?
Ain't No Grave. That he came out to that song at WrestleMania 27. That was his entrance music.
That was it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think Vince versus Hogan at WrestleMania 19 was a good video package too.
It was.
It did a good job of summing up the 20 years the two worked together.
All right, let's move on, man. So we did top 5 90s movies. Let's do the last part of the 90s, top 5 TV shows. We'll start with Kyron, man. You haven't gone first yet, so I'll let you take the floor.
Okay, so top 5 favorite 90s shows. Once again, I'm the only person here who was never around in the 90s. So I know Malik was born in 97, but you know what I mean. So I'm not going from any place in nostalgia here. Number 5. I'm kind of cheating here because this show started in 87, but it lasted mostly through the 90s, so I'm counting it. Number 5 is Married with Children. I think this is the funniest white sitcom I've ever seen. Al Bundy is still one of the funniest characters ever be on TV. So number 5, I got Married with Children. Number 4, All That. The sketch show on Nickelodeon. Still, the theme song is something I will, I will always love. It helped start the crazy people like Kenan Thompson, Kel Mitchell, Nick Cannon. Very important show. Number three, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I don't need to even say anything about how everyone loves this show. Number two is Martin, the funniest sitcom of the 90s to me. Even though I think Fresh Prince is probably the better show, I laughed harder at Martin Entertainment for the Fresh Prince. I laughed harder at Martin. And number 1 is not only my favorite show of the 90s, but this is my favorite cartoon of all time, Batman the Animated Series.
Nice.
Great list.
Nice
Solid list. Sean, what you got for us?
Let's go, man. I'm fired up about this. I'm gonna throw y'all off with a couple, but obviously me and Kyron are on the same page with a couple as well. Martin was hilarious. 5 epic seasons, amazing television. Martin Lawrence, I think, is a king of comedy. I would have given Martin the slot on the King of Comedy tour over D.L. Hughley. That's what I would have done.
Yeah, I would have to.
That's true. That's true black comedy, bro. True black sitcom, for sure.
The next one on my list is The Fresh Prince. I do think Fresh Prince was a tremendous show. It really, historically, it's a great show. I'm more of a Martin fan. Let's just put it that way. But Fresh Prince makes Boy Meets World was one of my favorite shows. I really enjoyed Boy Meets World. I think that I think that Corey and Topanga storyline was unbelievable. That show ran for a long time too.
Masterpiece.
You saw them grow up together. Sean going through all his issues and coming back full circle. They all ended up literally leaving town together. So it was awesome. All that was tremendous. I really enjoyed all aspects of that show. I had so much fun with that. And a show that a year ago would not have even been able to say I saw. But thanks to the beauty of HBO Max, thanks to the beauty of Hulu or whatever, I have discovered it. And I'm about a decade too late, but I do not care. Better late than never. Ladies and gentlemen, Friends.
Nice.
I already know.
Man, my man.
I already know what Malik.
Great taste, bro. My respect level for you just went to an all-time high.
It wasn't already there? Come on, no.
It was there, but it's even higher. The bar is now set.
Keeps going up.
Monty, what you got for us?
All right, man. So, growing up in the same era, it was like we had some really good after-school programming in the 90s. Like you said, Fresh Prince. Woof, like, how do you not like that show? Everything about it. I still watch it to this day. Loved it. One of the funniest sitcoms of all time. But before that show came on, if I'm not mistaken, at least where I'm living in Canada, the show right before I was just as attached to was Family Matters. I loved it. I was a big Family Matters guy. And full disclosure, boys, like I love like black television, straight up, like movies. We talked about that. I mean,
the real question is, Monty, who did you like more, Steve Urkel or Stefan Urkel?
Look, it's not about who I liked. It's who did Laura like more.
There you go.
That's true. Stefan Urkel was.
I think we all knew the answer to that, right?
Can we all agree how superficial and unfair Laura was for many, many years?
You know
what I always say? If I was the writer of that show, you know how many times if I was the writer of that show, I would have had Steve Urkel say, "You know what, Laura, kiss my entire ass."
Yeah.
I am so sick of your crap. I am so sick of your crap. That if I was the writer of that show, Steve would have cursed her out.
The episode he gave it to her in the episode. Remember what was the episode when they went on the road? When they went on the road trip? Yeah, and he snapped and she's like, "You got to sleep in the bathroom." He was like, "No, I will not sleep in that bathroom."
But even that,
sleep in that bathroom.
You're right. But even that, he still was like, even I love you, but just because you don't love me, no, Steve, shut up. Tell her.
Hey, her respect level for Steve went up that day. She was like, "Okay, Steve. Okay, Steve, I respect you."
Whenever Urkel would do that like lip thing where he's like, like you knew like his feelings were hurt or he was upset, and it was. Just,
he was really, bro.
Cool
we talk about how all the time how wrestlers can bring out emotion. He was really good at bringing out emotion in the show because every time, even though he was a nerd, but every time they bullied him or
you felt bad.
You felt bad for him because he did like the little pound. You felt bad for him. He was like, you just like, damn, man, come on, bro,
come back, Steve. Let me give you a hug, buddy.
They hated. Even though he got on their nerves, they had to apologize to him because they felt bad. Like we have to apologize to this guy, bro.
Sure.
Like,
for me, like we would sit up here, I would have been like, "Yo, I literally got into a transformation chamber for you, and you won't even be my Valentine. You know what? Kick rocks."
To be fair though, he had Myra though, bro. Myra was just as bad, bro. So
True. So I mean, Family Matters. And to be honest, a lot of my friends still call me Edo to this day. That's my nickname, Edo, and we got that from Family Matters.
Nice.
Yeah. So we have that. Another show that came on, I was super excited to watch. It only came on, I think, once a week or something like that. Home Improvement. Yeah. It's one of those ones you forget about, bro.
Great show.
Some of Tim Allen's best work.
I think Tim Allen's hilarious, personally.
Oh, for sure. But everybody in that show was amazing, and I don't know. I just there was a lot of value, a lot of lessons. All three of these like taught me a bunch. Since
you were a fan of the show, Me too. I don't know if it pissed you off, but did it piss you off that you never could see the guy's face over the fence? They used to irritate me. They used to irritate the hell out of me. Every episode, every episode, I would hope that they would just reveal it. And never saw it.
Yeah, and they would always do something stupid, like, you know, okay, the one day he didn't have a fence, and he was like, "Hey Tim," or you'd be like, "Hey Tim,
yes,
you know, you know what I mean?
No.
Like, we just always do shit
it would remind me. It would remind me of the show called Proud Family. There was a guy on Proud Family. You never saw his face. Bro.
Tim, have you ever used this notebook before? It's really good. You know,
it's like, bro,
Mr. Kelly, y'all.
Hey,
yes,
Tim,
bro.
Are you thirsty?
You can never see it. It was like
the great calculator. Have you ever used it?
Ridiculous. Why are you holding the bottle like this? We know what you're doing.
I hated that you could never see his face, bro. It used to get me so mad, bro.
God. Yeah. All right, so Home Improvement is there. Obviously, Friends. We talked about Friends, right? Amazing show. One of the funniest shows ever. I don't care what anybody. And you know what? I'm convinced that the people that don't like Friends are just haters and are trying to be different because
or they were like me and they never saw it.
Okay, yeah, or they never saw
Friends.
it. You know?
It's more the things.
I tell people to watch Friends. You have to watch the first couple seasons to get into it.
Yes,
You're not gonna watch the first. You're not gonna watch the first couple episodes and be like, "Oh, well, this is a terrible."
It was a couple of months ago. I'm going through HBO Max. I see that all 8 or 9 seasons is available. 10 seasons, whatever it is. I'm like, you know what? What the hell? Bam! And I never stopped watching.
It's a good show, bro.
No, real talk though. That show put me through some hard times. Like I was like, big, massive anxiety issues. Like I was having a hard time leaving, like going to events and stuff like that. And one of the exposure sort of therapies, in a way, not really exposure therapies, but one of the therapies was to watch some funny programming. You know, I wasn't, for a long time, I didn't watch anything dramatic or sad or horror movies. I only watched funny things. So I was watching Seinfeld, honorable mention, by the way. But more importantly, I was watching Friends like over and over and over, and I had never seen it. So it was exciting for me at the time because I never seen it, and it was making me laugh, and it would carry over into the next day, and it helped me to get out there. And I was going through a breakup, so it kept me mentally happy. So little shout out to Friends, thank you very much. And you know, like I said, honorable mention to Incredible Hulk series. Loved it. I mean, it's a cartoon, but for me, it was amazing, and I loved that. Honorable mention to Seinfeld, and then finally, last but not least, a show that I tribute on Mounty's Corner a couple of times, Unsolved Mysteries.
Hey.
I'm a big fan of it. I still haven't seen the new ones yet. I want to see it, but the old ones to me were some of the creepiest, coolest shit I've ever seen on TV, for sure.
All right, very, very cool moment coming up. That show gave me nightmares.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Unsolved Mysteries was a good X-Files too, bro. I was a big I love X-Files too.
Outer Limits was low-key pretty good too as well. Yeah. Outer Limits.
Okay, so I just realized on this list, Sean, you and I had the exact same list besides one show. So we have the exact same list besides one show. So we got a lot in common. So, Sean, me and you, we got a lot in common, bro.
Come on, brother. Come on. Talk to him.
Boy Meets World is on my list. A fantastic show. Everything Sean said about the story and everything. Topanga, first of all, everybody had a crush on Topanga. Come on, who didn't have a crush on Topanga at one point? The story was incredible. Martin, Fresh Prince, and Friends are definitely on there. Those three, without a doubt. Personally, my favorite '90s show is Fresh Prince. That's my favorite one.
I know you like all that too, so I'm wondering what replaced all that on your top 5.
All that is great. All that is great. It's one of my childhood shows as many. But at my 5th spot, I gotta go Full House, man. Full House on my list.
Damn.
Full House, man.
I swear that might be me one. No,
I absolutely love Full House, bro. First off, one of the greatest intro songs ever. For
that was the only good thing. That's one of the only good things about the show.
No, the show was great.
That show
told a fine line between cute and corny.
Exactly.
It did, but it was good to me. I like.
And let me
explain.
Let me explain. There's nothing wrong with liking cute, corny stuff. Hell, I watch My Little Pony for crying out loud. But my thing is this. Full House. All right, this is my biggest problem. Full House. It never made me laugh that hard. I never laughed hard at Full House. Now, as much as I respect the morals it tried to teach, every episode when they play that stupid ass music trying to teach a more like you're hammering the point into too hard. Like, I get it.
That's the only thing I hate about that show, bro. I did a video on that on my TikTok. I was like, bro, why do they have to play the music every time, bro? It's every scene, bro. It could be somebody stubbed their toe, music play.
And don't get me wrong. It had a lot of great moments of learning things. Like we're talking about domestic, but like an abusive parent, things like that. This is stuff I like in TV shows. But the fact that at the end of the day, you're a comedy, you're supposed to be a comedy, and you're not funny. This is why, as much as even though Full House was more of a family show and Married with Children wasn't, I would watch Married with Children before I watch Full House any day.
One time, I watched an episode of Full House, and the entire episode, all 22 minutes of airtime, was about Michelle not being able to climb a fence. Whole show.
No episode.
I was like, wow, like that's 22 minutes I'll never get back. Like, wow.
But when we put Full House over all that, come on now.
For sure. I would put Kenan and Kel over all that.
Now I actually had that type of debate. That's
Kenan and Kel was better than all that to me, but
that's fine.
All that was great. I'd put Saved by the Bell over all that too. For me, Saved by the Bell was better to me too.
I'm just saying, I never laughed at Full House.
Saved by the Bell was more of an idea for me. Like Saved by the Bell was cool. Like don't get me wrong, but Saved by the Bell got me hyped for WWF.
Yeah. Saved by the Bell almost made my list.
You know what? Maybe WWF. I should have put WWF. You know what? All that is gone. WWF Superstars is one of my top 5 90s. That counts, doesn't it? It counts.
Oh, come on, Sean. That's kind of a reach, bro.
90s TV shows. He didn't say 90s.
Then we could have defined it. We could just put Monday Night Raw from 97, 99.
Yeah, that's true.
Come on now.
Maybe you're right.
He is on the King of the Reach, fellas. Let's give him a break. It's been a while since we did a draft.
That's
true.
Up to my reputation.
All right, let's move on. We'll run through some of these. Top 5 biggest WrestleMania matches ever. I'm going to give you my list. I'll give you my list. I think my list is pretty accurate if you ask me. No order either. No order. We'll start off from the bottom. And this is biggest matches ever. So you're looking at build up, box office, all that. Rock versus Stone Cold, WrestleMania 17, bro. 2 of the biggest stars of all time. The build up was incredible. The height was incredible. The promo package was incredible. The match was incredible. Everything about it was incredible. Rock versus Hogan, WrestleMania 18. The most electric crowd for any match I've ever seen in my life. Crowd was absolutely on fire that night. Rock versus John Cena, WrestleMania 28. 2 superstars from 2 different generations. Dream match that people never thought would happen. A full year in the build-up. There's never been a WrestleMania match that had a full year in the until to this day. They announced the main event of WrestleMania the day after WrestleMania. They announced the previous main event to the next WrestleMania. It was incredible. And they broke all types of box office numbers for that WrestleMania too. They shattered all type pay-per-view numbers. And the next 2 are Hulk Hogan versus Ultimate Warrior, title for title. I mean, you're looking at back in 1990, good guy versus good guy. Which they didn't do back then, by the way. The Intercontinental Championship was just as important as the WWF title back in the day, so it was monumental. And both guys were extremely over. Like Mountie said earlier when he did his predictions, he was torn. How can you pick? How can I choose? And the next, Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant, WrestleMania 3. It changed wrestling single-handedly. 93,000 people sold out in one stadium just for this match. Incredible. You never seen anything like it. So that's my list right there. Sean, what you got?
All right. Well, I'm gonna piggyback right off the top and say Hogan Andre for obvious reasons, the reasons you just listed. Again, for me, my definition of biggest is like all the things you talked about, but also the level of importance. not just importance in wrestling, but importance socially as well.
Right.
So I'm gonna go with the explosion of the Mega Powers at WrestleMania 5. I felt like that was a very important match in the history of the business. I felt like in a lot of ways it did more for Savage than it did for Hogan, even though Hogan won the match. I think it cemented Savage's legacy. I even think not as a young kid, but as an adult, I even think Macho should have won the match. But that's up to me. All right. HBK Taker 2 for obvious reasons. Shawn Michaels' last match. Obviously, the buildup was great.
Yeah, that was my honorable mention. Yeah.
Not as good in the ring as Taker HBK 1, but historically, I think Taker.
I will say that match that was my honorable mention. I will say personally, for me at the time, this was 2010. So I was like 13. Yeah. I did not know if Undertaker was going to win that match or not. I honestly didn't know what was happening. I could not call what was going to happen because at the time you look at it and you're like, "There's no way Undertaker can lose at WrestleMania." But because I wasn't reading dirt sheets, so I didn't know like Shawn's retirement plans or anything. But I was like, "There's no way Shawn's can retire, right?" So that was the first time that I ever thought in the back of my mind Undertaker streak could end at WrestleMania. So yeah, it was a monumental match.
100%. So you got Hogan, Andre, you got the explosion of Mega Powers, HBK Taker 2, Warrior, and Macho for a lot of the reasons that Kyron mentioned earlier. I would venture to say if you did the greatest television, not just wrestling, if you did the greatest television moments in the history of television, that Macho reuniting with Elizabeth would make somebody's list. I really believe it. That's how important that moment was, which makes that match even more important. Both careers on the line. Obviously, we know Macho would come back. It was just for him to take some time off. That's storyline stuff. But as far as, that's real life stuff. But storyline-wise, Warrior, Macho, off the charts. And again, importance, historical significance. Kofi Kingston, Daniel Bryan.
Love it. Great pick right there.
Yeah.
I cried actual tears when Kofi won the title. I admit that. I cried the real tears when Kofi won that title.
But think about it though. We had, and possibly we don't know for sure, but we had Kofi. Obviously, I'll say it. Kofi was a black man winning the WWE Championship, even though The Rock is half black. The reason a lot of people don't consider that because he takes more of the Samoan heritage out of it, but The Rock is black. But Kofi Kingston winning
The Rock is black, but The Rock didn't count himself.
But Kofi Kingston winning had a heartfelt moment for obvious reasons. And thinking about it now, we could possibly get Bobby Lashley as WWE champion, and I'm all for that. I have no issue with that whatsoever.
Yeah.
So
he's paid his dues for sure, man.
And you know what? Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up. I think Bobby Lashley wins on Monday. I know that doesn't make much sense, but I think he wins.
It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense because
I think he could win. I have my own predictions of what could happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if it happened.
I want to jump into that because that's current talk, and I like that. It makes a lot of sense, right? If you involve Bad Bunny to help somehow, and the Miz, he creates that distraction, and it creates that tag team match of J-Mo, Miz versus Bad Bunny and Damian Priest. Mm-hmm. Well, now you're left with Bobby Lashley as champion. Well, who does he go against? I'll tell you who. A returning Brock Lesnar.
Yes.
Yes. You see that shit, bro? That's main event material. And hang on. If that's not enough for you, you can have Drew have his rematch, and now you have 3 super heavyweights in the match. And I think that would just make it even better.
Mountie, from your mouth to God's ears. I hope that's the only Brock Lesnar match. That's the only Brock Lesnar match I care about.
Dude, and I would love to. I think having look, it's one thing to have Drew against Brock. We saw it last year. I understand. But having Bobby Lashley in there is that little X factor, that little wild card that I would really get behind. I swear to God. I feel like he's done some of his best work in his whole career in all of federations in this past year. And it's a shame because the ratings haven't been there and all this stuff. But that guy has been super consistent. He's kept in great shape. He's gotten better on the mic, man. Like he's really come out of his shell, man. And I'm behind a little title reign for Bobby Lash, man. We talked, guys. Let's be honest. We talked about a bunch of shit tonight about Miz going away with the title, and we're like, whoa. We talked about Jericho going away with the title. Whoa, Orton going away with the title. Hell, I'm gonna say on record right now, Bobby Lashley beats both of those guys at WrestleMania. That's his moment.
Whoa.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised. I've heard that I've heard WWE is really high on him, and they really want to give him a big push this year. Like they're going to give
Why
him
not? He's
a
that big
monster
guy
push.
that they always love.
I think they need to, because you need to develop new stars. And I'll say this: I'm down for the Brock Lesnar thing, but I don't see it happening though. I don't think Brock is coming back, not anytime soon, at least.
I'm just going to jump in real quick too. It's like fuck, you know, the days of a wrestler having a manager and being a champion is a lost art. We've seen it with Heyman and Lesnar. I want to see it with MVP as his manager. Bobby Lashley is the champion of WrestleMania. I want to see that. I want to see that for a bit. You know what I mean?
I would love to see. I mean, Bobby versus Brock is long overdue. I think we all can agree. I mean, that's a match that people have fantasized about.
By itself, I'm cool with it also. Either way.
People have fantasized about it for many years. And then you look at, Paul Heyman and MVP building it up on the mic, which is incredible. Two guys can go on the stick. But I think somehow
truth.
I would first of all, I would not be upset if Bobby won, because Miz did win it, so he had to side of reign. I wouldn't be upset if it happened. But the Brock Lesnar thing, I would love to see it happen, but I don't think it will. If it did happen, totally for it, because that's the only. If you look at Bobby versus Brock, that's the only thing that can match Edge versus Roman. You know what I'm saying? As far as box office attraction, to me.
I want to touch on what you just said real quick. Miz losing the title almost immediately back in 2010. Had that happen, it didn't. He had a significant reign. That would have annoyed me. If he loses the title, if he's only champion for 8 days this time, I'm just happy that he won it again. I have no problem him losing.
Listen, he can always win it back.
Yes.
Within the next year, they can find a way that he gets it back. 100%.
But I do not think at this stage in his career that Bobby Lashley is any hotter than he is right now.
Totally.
And if they're going to, for me, this is my one issue. I'll let you go to your promo packages. My biggest matches in a minute, Melty. For me, the only issue for me with the Bobby Lashley and Brock Lesnar match is if they were ever going to have the match, for me, Bobby Lashley had to be believable enough to where I felt like he could have a chance against Brock, because for the last couple, if you look at this match, say they had this match 2 years ago, right? Or 3 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. I would have been like, bro, Bobby Lashley's going to go in there and he's going to get killed. He's not going to.
Totally agree. Totally agree.
But if you look at Bobby now, I'm like, okay, it's a little toss up for me.
They built him properly. They built him that way.
But it worries me with these matches, because they did the same with Strowman. Strowman had a lot of momentum. He was believable. He looked like a monster. And Brock was like, okay, you know what? I think he could go in there and beat Brock. And then he went in there and he just destroyed Braun Strowman, and it ruined his whole momentum, and he wasn't the same afterwards. That would be my only concern, because if you look at the history between Brock's matches, he doesn't have the best matches with the big guys. It's always the smaller guys. And Bobby Lashley, they're like the same height. They're built the same. Their athleticism is probably the same too. So it's
well, Bobby Lashley, old school Brock Lesnar is essentially Bobby Lashley in the ring.
Yeah.
Like,
but Braun Strowman's career is over.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, Braun Strowman about that match 15. So come on.
I think the problem is, I think the thing, if you do Lesnar versus Lashley at any point, especially at WrestleMania, especially while Lashley's hot as this, if you're gonna do that type of match, it can't just be a match of finish spamming. Like, you just can't have it be a match where we just hit each other. No, you can't do that. If you're gonna make that type of match, you gotta be like, have it start with MMA type violence. Have that type of, like, you have two men with MMA backgrounds. That's the type of match that has to have that. Not say he has to be in a cage or anything, but have that MMA type of atmosphere, that MMA fighting, and then you build up the wrestling style. You don't just have this be, I hit you with 3 F5 and hit you with 4 spears, because that's not going to get over.
Oh, I know, man. I preach to that, because there's nothing more. I want to see exactly what you just said, but I also want to see a little bit of Brock Lesnar's old school wrestling. I think it's going to complement very well with Bobby Lashley. I think it's going to be an intense match. You want to make it like how I feel like Lesnar and Goldberg back a couple of WrestleManias back wasn't as bad as we all thought it was going to be. It was intense. It was it was, and this has the potential to be better than that, which is great. And it's just but I'm with you. I don't want to see the same 8 moves. No.
I was very entertained by that 33 match. I was very entertained. It was only a 4-minute match, but it was very entertaining.
Right.
I was there, and it was entertaining.
They can give 8 to 10 minutes on this match, and it'll be just fine. It'll be just.
It's what it needed to be. It's what it needed to be. So go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so biggest WrestleMania matches. Look, I'm going to throw in some curveballs because, for obvious reasons, we all know that these honorable mentions they should be in my list. But I'm going to throw some curveballs because we haven't discussed a few. Okay, so obviously honorable mentions: Hogan Warrior. We mentioned that. Brett versus Austin, Rock versus Hogan, and HBK versus Taker 26. So now you're asking yourself, well, what the hell does your list have, right? And I'm going to tell you, it's an interesting one for a couple of different reasons. Number one, obviously, is Rock versus Austin WrestleMania 17. Come on, like that. I couldn't remove that one no matter how hard I tried. Fine. And Andre versus Hogan. We're keeping those two there because, for me, those were arguably some of the best, and it really moved the needle in the wrestling biz. The next three might surprise you, but once I say it, I don't think it will surprise you. Ric Flair versus Shawn Michaels. Ric Flair, losing that retirement match, that was an emotional roller coaster. We all sort of knew that Ric Flair was going to lose, but it didn't make it any less special. The story, the build, the match itself was very good. Very, very good. It belonged on the card, and I can watch it over and over.
Absolutely.
Another one that'll go down in wrestling history as one of the most shocking matches in WrestleMania history. Brock beating the streak. So Brock Lesnar beating Undertaker for making him 21-1. Guys, we could talk about that one all night, but the fact of the matter is that was a massive turning point in wrestling history. And to me, it deserves to be in one of the biggest WrestleMania matches of all time because of the streak alone being broken. So that's it. Finally, my last one, and certainly not the least important. If anything, one of the most important matches in all of history, quite frankly, in all of humanity. And I'm going to go with Becky versus Charlotte versus Ronda. Main eventing that WrestleMania 35. That was revolutionary and massive trendsetter. And it paved the way for things to never be the same in a man's world. So that's my pick.
And the reason why I think night one of WrestleMania this year, night one, is going to be headlined by Sasha versus Bianca.
True that. I'm still sticking with that as well.
Night one of WrestleMania has to main event by Sasha and Bianca.
But I have a question for you guys on that topic.
Well, that's unless Brock Lesnar comes back, then they ain't getting.
But here's the deal. Here's the deal. Exactly. Not only that, because the way we're looking at it, we're saying Roman's top guy. Roman's gonna main event the second one. Mm-hmm. Now you got two SmackDown main events. I don't know if Vince is gonna go for that.
Roman and Edge will main event. Roman and Edge will main event night two. If Brock Lesnar does come back, that he's main eventing night one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even though SmackDown has been clearly, even though I don't watch neither one, SmackDown's the better show.
You could do second.
Or actually, you know what? Maybe it depends. You know what could main event night one? It could be The Fiend and Randy Orton, depending on if The Fiend comes back that night.
No, it's not.
If he makes
that's not going to main event.
I think you have to go Bianca and Sasha if Brock Lesnar doesn't come back. Brock and Lashley, I think, would be main event of night one. But
it's going to be a quick main event. You're right.
This is me fishing a little bit. Edge is not really a SmackDown guy, is he?
Well,
I don't think Edge has any particular brand.
He's a free agent.
On a brand.
He's a free agent.
He's not really on a brand. I mean, back then he was, but I mean, he's not really on a.
But he's I
think he's kind of like Goldberg, Cena. When they come back, they just go wherever they tell them to go. It's like
all that being said, and you guys are making tremendous points. All that being said, logistics be damned. Sasha and Bianca should main event night one.
I want Sasha. My only problem with Sasha and Bianca. Well, I'll say it when we talk about it later. Yeah, like Edge doesn't really have any particular brand. He shows up on Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. Okay, so my top 5 biggest WrestleMania matches of all time. I'm gonna fly straight through this. Number 5, Shawn Michaels versus Stone Cold, WrestleMania 14. Probably the most important, one of the most important Mania main events. You got Mike Tyson involved. This is the match that really kickstarted the Attitude Era.
Yep.
And a match that really that company needed at that time.
We just lucky Shawn Michaels went out there and did it that night.
Yeah, because the Undertaker wasn't going to have anything less. Number 4, Shawn Michaels.
Well said.
Number 4, Shawn Michaels versus the Undertaker, WrestleMania 26. I mean, we've talked about this match way too much. We all know what it is. Number 3, Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant, WrestleMania 3. I mean, whether you believe the reported figure of 93,000 people or not, at the end of the day, that match was the selling point for that WrestleMania. Number two and 1 are, they're kind of one and the same. Number 2, The Rock versus Hulk Hogan. I don't think I need to say anything. The only problem with this match should have been the main event. And number 1, and this is my personal preference, John Cena versus The Rock, WrestleMania 28. I mean, my favorite wrestler of my era versus favorite wrestler of back then, and this is a match I've wanted to see since I was really little, and I got to see it. And obviously WrestleMania 28 being the biggest boy. Let's look at Conrad. Chill, Conrad. We know you love Shawn Michaels, but if Shawn Michaels didn't do the right thing at WrestleMania 14, he was gonna hear it.
I don't know if you saw the Stone Cold podcast, but Undertaker talks about that, and I part of me kind of wishes this would have happened, just to see what would have happened. He said that he sat in Gorilla through the whole match, and he had his fist taped up, and he said that he was going to walk out there during the match if Shawn Michaels refused to put over Steve Austin. He was going to forcefully walk to the ring and tell Shawn Michaels, that belt was. He was on the Stone Cold podcast talking about it. It was on the WWE Network. He said that one way or the other, that belt was going to change because it was Austin's night, and it was time to. Austin was going to become the guy, and he said he sat in Gorilla with his fist taped. And he said that he was going to walk to the ring if Shawn Michaels wasn't going to do business that night, and he was going to that title was going to change hands one way or the other. Yeah.
The story I heard was actually the same thing. He taped his fist up and threatened Shawn Michaels to do the right thing. And what I heard is he sat in Gorilla, watched the entire match, and after the match, he untaped his fist, and that was that. But
and he walked away. Yeah. That's how you know Taker. That's how you know Taker. That's how you know he was the leader back then.
Stories like that are why he's grown from like number 11 on my list all the way up to like number 5, 6.
Lawsuit, unsafe working conditions. Conrad, he's your favorite wrestler, but you gotta acknowledge the fact that he was an a-hole back then, bro.
Shawn Michaels is the greatest wrestler to ever live, in my opinion. But in the 90s, Shawn Michaels was a jerk.
You said what, Kyrie?
Another honorable mention.
No. Shawn literally just said Shawn Michaels' favorite wrestler. He thinks the greatest wrestler, but back in the 90s, he was a jerk.
Yeah, back in the 90s, that's what you said now.
No, I didn't say now. I said back then.
Yeah, he was back
then. Yeah, and by the way, guys, I think we're doing this.
No.
All right, I gotta take the earbuds off for this one because
it's my opinion. We all have
no. Guys, as we all know, hold on. We all know we all love NXT, correct? But see, my brother here hates it for no reason, only because I like it. So I want my brother to explain to you why he doesn't like NXT.
I never said I don't like it. I never said that. I just feel as though I just don't like it.
Why?
I just feel as though they don't do right with their wrestlers.
You don't watch it, so how do you know they do right with anyone or not? You couldn't name me 10 people in NXT right now.
Tommaso Ciampa, Johnny Gargano, Ember Moon. Didn't Finn Balor go back?
Yes.
Finn Balor. See, there you go. That's 4 right there. Io Shirai. You didn't even know me, right? Did you?
I literally just pointed out to you today. Come on.
Finn Balor was the champion. I like how he said, isn't he in it?
I rest my case.
Yo, now that he walked away, come back. I want to say something to you.
Hold on, Kyrie. Sean wants to say he wants to say something to you. Hold on.
All you had to do was say, if you had just said Undisputed Era, you would have bumped yourself all the way up to 9.
The truth.
If you just said Undisputed Era, you'd have bumped yourself all the way up to 9.
and Pat McAfee. Done.
and Pat McAfee, there you go.
Pat McAfee.
All right.
Yeah, he says a lot.
He said
a lot of stuff. He says a lot of stuff.
What's the next category?
Keep this going, man.
We're moving on. Another honorable mention for biggest matches, I think. Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart, Iron Man match, WrestleMania 12. Very honorable mention. Let's move on.
Yeah.
To a different category. Top 5 best NBA players ever, in your opinion. Let me look at some of these comments here. Who's all in here? Appreciate you guys for being in the comment section. I'll start. I'll give mine, and then
look at the fans, Malik. Look at the fans. I see you, my G. I see you.
All right, let's hear Malik.
All right, this list is in no order, by the way. It's too hard to put people in order. Top 5 best NBA players ever. Obviously, the greatest ever, Michael Jordan, without a doubt.
Thank you.
I have Kobe Bryant on there. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is on my list. LeBron James and Magic Johnson.
Oh my God! Yo, man, now you're starting to scare me. You're starting to scare me now. That's my entire list.
That's your list? Hey, say look, we got a lot in common.
That is my list.
I got Michael Jordan because he's the greatest ever, in my opinion. Yep. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is the greatest big man ever, most accomplished player ever.
19 All-Star games.
Kobe Bryant, one of the most influential players in history, one of the most skilled players of all time. His work ethic is unmatched. 100%. LeBron James, what can you say? People can hate on LeBron James all they want, but this guy is probably the most accomplished player in NBA history. Probably the most accomplished player in NBA history. His longevity, and he's still going today. Matter of fact, he's still going today. And Magic Johnson, greatest point guard of all time. What needs to be said?
Can I go next? Can I go?
You don't need to go to me. Skip me. That's my list.
All right, can I go? All right. I'm gonna go 5-1 here. Number 5, and this is something I feel like this guy does not get the respect he deserves. Number 5, the greatest power forward of all time, Tim Duncan. Ooh. Number 4, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Number 3, Magic Johnson. Number 2, LeBron James, and number 1, Michael Jordan.
Okay, pretty close.
I think a lot of people don't see. A lot of people are gonna shake my head because my brother doesn't really know NBA history. Because I have Tim.
Who does not have Kobe in that top?
I have Tim Duncan ahead of Kobe, and here's why. That's not smart. How's it not smart? How's it not smart? Tim Duncan and Kobe, rings 5-5. Tim Duncan.
Look who was coaching.
Phil Jackson versus Greg Popovich.
Greg Popovich is way better.
I think so, but Phil Jackson. Okay, now let me ask you this: Tim Duncan is arguably the greatest defensive player in NBA history. The man was on the all defensive team. Arguably, the man was on the all defensive team even as he got older. Tim Duncan, let's be honest, he was on the Spurs for 20 years. When you have any drama about Tim Duncan at all? He's a 3.
If you're gonna take off the court stuff, then Tim Duncan has the big nod over. I wasn't talking about. I wasn't thinking about Kobe's controversy.
No, I'm not. I didn't know. I'll bring that stuff up. But it's like Tim Duncan never gave Spurs any issues. The Spurs were successful because of him, not the other way around. He has 2 league MVPs. He has 3 Finals MVPs. The man also. Here's another thing no one brings up. His 2003 championship is arguably one of the most impressive of all time. Because who was the Spurs' other players on that team? David Robinson was past his prime, and Tony and Manu, who weren't even at that peak yet, and Tim Duncan in the finals, damn near average a quadruple average, 5 blocks, and 5 blocks, over 18 rebounds and 20-something points. Tim Duncan, I feel like he's one of the most disrespected players of all time. So that's why I have Tim Duncan ahead of Kobe. I know a lot of people might disagree with that because Kobe's the better individual player, but I think Tim Duncan had, not saying he's a GOAT because I had Michael Jordan number 1, and but I think Tim Duncan had probably the most perfect career in terms of on the court and off the court.
I will say that Tim Duncan, I think, had a better career than Kobe, but Kobe was a better player.
I think Kobe's more talented. Offensively, Kobe. Defensively, Tim Duncan. I think defense, Tim Duncan. But I have, and a lot of the people. I'm not putting LeBron number 2 because he's my favorite player. I feel like LeBron's the second greatest player of all time. He has 4 championships. You know what? No. Let me explain this because I've had to hear this for too long. To this guy right here, LeBron's 2020 ring has an asterisk for things that had nothing to do with him. Apparently, it's the Lakers' fault the Clippers choked.
It's not just that.
Apparently, it's the Lakers' fault that a pandemic happened. They had to play in a bubble. Apparently, now all of a sudden, it has an asterisk because of stuff that's out of Lakers' control. Oh, it has an asterisk because the Clippers choked.
I will say that. Well, first of all, LeBron James' stats are probably superior to everybody else. But the reason that he can't be the GOAT is because of the finals record. If he had a winning record in the finals, he would arguably, to me, be the greatest ever.
And that's one thing I will say.
Michael's 6-0, and a lot of those rings he got going to right through my team, which is the New York Knicks.
And that's exactly why I have Jordan number 1, LeBron number 2.
I feel if LeBron had the record that Tom Brady had in Super Bowls, if he was 7-3 in the finals, with everything that he's accomplished now, I think he would be the greatest. But there's no GOAT that I know in the history of sports that is the greatest ever with a losing record in the championship game or the final series. And he's 4-6. And I can't. That's why I can't put him over there.
And that's why I don't have him number 1. That's why I have Jordan number 1. And while I can break down LeBron's finals losses if you want, I don't want to do that because I do it too much. But at the end of the day, yeah, he does have 6 finals losses. And while I think that's a dumb criticism, at the end of the day, Jordan doesn't have any. And that's why I have to put Michael Jordan number 1, even though LeBron is my personal favorite player of all time.
All right, Malcolm,
Jordan is better. Otherwise, LeBron is. Yeah, better pass and a better rebound.
What's your top? Whatever. What's your top?
Well, you guys have brought some really friggin' good points up. Honestly, it's scary how much I really agree. I don't think some people are going to agree with who I have in my top 5, but to me, it makes, I guess, all the sense in the world. All right. Number 5 for me, and I'll try to do these in order. Number 5 has to be Magic Johnson, right? Honestly, like, he revolutionized the game. Like you guys said, he's one of the best point guards of all time. Actually, no, he was the best point guard of all time. So that just has to be said. Like you said, he changed. The rivalry he had with Larry Bird was spectacular. And by the way, shout out to Larry Bird because he is an honorable mention for me.
Me too.
But yeah, totally. Like you can't deny that Larry Bird almost can be considered in a top 5 list. It's super close, right? And in my opinion, like the way Magic Johnson kind of just showed off or whatever the Lakers to 9 NBA finals was just amazing and revolutionary. So he gets my number 5 pick. Number 4 for me, I'm gonna say Bill Russell. Bill Russell, 11 titles in only 13 years. He was the first one to turn the Celtics into like an over the top powerhouse team. He was really known for his defense. Shit, this guy like averaged over 20 rebounds a game for I think his whole career.
Too.
What's that?
Dominated Wilt Chamberlain too.
And that's it. And that's why I have, believe it or not, Wilt Chamberlain as an honorable mention in my list.
He's not in my top 10.
Because but he's number 6. Wilt Chamberlain to me is number 6. So, anyways, Bill Russell makes the list for me. 5 MVP awards and everything else. Just for me, it puts him definitely in the top 5 of all time, and I love him. So who do we got so far? We got Magic Johnson and we got Bill Russell. Number 3, the Kareem Skyhook. Honestly, what can you say? 19-time All-Star, bro. Like fucking 6 MVP awards. Like this guy was at another level, man. Unstoppable. You couldn't defend against him in a lot of cases. And
could you imagine if Kareem was 10 years younger?
Oh, dude,
and had a chance to play with Magic in their prime together.
Oh.
They've never lost.
Dude, as much as I love Bird, they wouldn't have matched up. All of a sudden, they would have. Yeah, of course they would have.
No, they would have matched. I mean, they would have been them 2 in the finals every year, just like it was. But
exactly. But still, like Larry Bird, still, 3 MVP. I think seasons
but Kareem,
that he had.
He's talking about
Kareem Larry Bird had three consecutive MVP awards. Only I think Bill Russell, and Wilt Chamberlain have that award of all time. 3 in a row.
I mean, come on, let's mention that he was a white guy in a black dominant society as far as
he was like he was the first one.
Schooling dudes.
He had respect, bro. He had respect. Larry Bird had respect, and he was one of the best trash talkers ever too, man. Trash talking about.
Yeah, no, he was fantastic, and he led the way for other white players to shine as well. The Stocktons and Steve Nashes and all that. Like so, anyways. Larry Bird, shout out. Unfortunately, didn't make my list. But number 2, who did make my list, LeBron James. LeBron James is obviously making a case to be the best player of all time. I mean, it's crazy, but it's not crazy. You look at the numbers; they don't lie. It's a little bit of a different era, but it doesn't matter. There's a lot of talent in today's basketball. If you guys still follow it, it's just amazing. And the fact that he's able to do it year in, year out, he's just a big dude. You know, he averages a lot of points. He does it all, man. Like triple doubles, like all the time, like with the rebounds, the assists. I mean, you know, he's an offensive, but he's also a defensive crazy player too. Some of the biggest highlights in his career have been defensively, big blocks and everything. Like this guy, he's got heart, you know. And obviously, you know, it talks to heart. You know, you talk about work ethic. To me, nobody has a better work ethic than Michael Jordan. He's my number 1 of all time. In my opinion, his work ethic was second to none. Nobody will ever compare to me in any sport, anything. Maybe you can make a case for Muhammad Ali, but for me, Michael Jordan was one of the best athletes of all time. And it's really tough, guys. You know, like the only one I can maybe swap out at number 4, if I really, really had to, would have been Kobe Bryant for Bill Russell. But it's not easy. It's not an easy, you know, like Bill Russell, like he's nothing to sneeze at, man. He was amazing.
I will say,
to me, Kobe is in top 10. Even like, I think he's like 7 or 8 really. And it hurts for me to say that because he was so good. But for me, there's just so many other players that were just by a smidge better than him. That's my opinion.
My 5th spot was a tough one because whenever I do a top 10 list, when I ever get to 5, I always say this. Number 1, like I said, is I got Jordan, then Bron, then Magic, then Kareem. I always say the next 3 can go in any order. Duncan, Kobe, and Bird. I chose Tim Duncan. I feel like he has the better career of the 3, and that's why I put Duncan. But Kobe could have easily been that 5th spot. And like I said, that was definitely the hardest, that 5th spot, because I knew the top 4 were going to be easily. But it was that 5th spot that I always went back and forth with. Okay, is it going to be Duncan? Is it going to be Kobe? Bird might have a case, but I always say, well, Duncan had the best career of all of them.
I think another honorable mention too, man. Shaquille O'Neal, bro, most dominant player ever. Shaq was a force to be reckoned with. I mean,
for me, he's top 10, but I think he's number 10 for me.
He's number 10.
He's top 10, but he's honorable. I mean, nobody can stop Shaq in his prime. The most dominant player.
On a side note, to all my Knicks fans out there, big shout out to Julius Randle making his first All-Star team. Big shout out to the Knicks actually in the playoff race for the first time in years. It looks like actually going to be a playoff team. I know we're not going to no championships, but big shout out to my Knicks for showing some heart this year.
My Bulls are going to make it, man. I know it. I
will say though,
possibly sneak in.
I will say
Bulls
though,
versus Knicks. Bring it back, baby. Bring it back. You're going down.
I will say since I've been alive, because I wasn't around for the Jordan era. So I guess Kobe was like the Jordan for my era, basically.
And LeBron was Jordan.
But I will say, as far as longevity wise, LeBron James and Tom Brady are on a different planet when it comes to longevity and greatness. To be able to be great as they get older, because they've gotten better. I mean, Tom Brady's gotten better since he got older. He's got more Super Bowls since he's gotten older. LeBron has gotten better since he's gotten older. Like they're bad. They got the Benjamin Button disease.
To your point about LeBron, in what world has there ever been a 36-year-old man who's the best player in the NBA?
Same. You can even say the same for a quarterback. 43 years old, the best. If you look at any quarterback and you said, you know what, this guy's 43 years old. We need a quarterback. We got a 43-year-old Tom Brady or a 25-year-old, fucking whoever. And you're gonna be like, I might have to go with 43-year-old. You know what I'm saying? The resume speaks for itself. Same with LeBron. I mean, how many 36-year-olds can you say that were still the best player in the league? You know what I mean? Even though Jordan was 34 when he last played with the Bulls, he was still the best player in the league, but he retired after that. So you know what I mean? So
and that's the thing. That's the thing that separates a little bit. But I don't know. It's an ongoing debate, and it's you hear it almost every day, right? Either way, though, LeBron, he's a machine, bro. He's a fucking machine, and no matter where he goes, you can make an argument. Okay, so maybe some of his teammates are better. Who knows? Or maybe some of his teammates weren't better. Like when he was on Cleveland and stuff. So hey, credit where credit's due.
That's why you can say the same for Shawn Michaels when he retired. He was 44 when he retired, but still at the top of his game. He could have wrestled another 5 years if he wanted to, easily. He was still at the peak of his career. So
one thing too, you talk about longevity. It's off topic a little bit. We're going back to wrestling. Let's talk about The Miz and how he never gets injured, bro.
Yeah.
When was the last time Miz got injured? Never.
Yeah. Same with Jericho too. I don't think Jericho's ever got hurt either.
Dude, it's really remarkable in the sport of professional wrestling and all the appearances he's doing and all this other stuff. This guy is just there every single week, man. It's impressive.
It is.
So in a weird way, he's getting better as he gets older too. That's weird. Anyways,
That's crazy.
I thought it was slightly relevant. Slightly.
No, I agree. You got a point. All right, top superstars.
3 more to go.
Top superstars on the mic. I'm gonna run through this. I'm gonna run through my list, no order. I have The Rock. To me, in my opinion, The Rock is the greatest to ever do on the mic. The most entertaining superstar ever.
Terrible.
Ric Flair, Paul Heyman. And these last two may surprise you. I don't know. They may surprise you. I have CM Punk and Macho Man Randy Savage.
That's a good. Yeah, Macho Man surprised me for a top 5. But I understand.
That's in my. Those are my 5. Anytime those 5 talk, I'm glued to the Lears. Macho Man Randy Savage, even though half the time I don't know what the hell he's talking about in his promos, but he makes it sound so good because you're intrigued by it. Cream of the crop. What is the cream of the crop? I still don't know to this day.
Best of the best.
It means the best of the best, bro.
It means I'm the best of the best.
But he had the creamer in his hand.
Creamer in his hand, or anytime he cuts his promo, when he cuts his promo, and he's looking around and stuff. What are you looking at? Sean. I don't know what you're looking at.
Sean, the camera. Good, man. Look at that.
The camera's over there. CM Punk, bro. CM Punk changed wrestling in so many ways for me. The pipe bomb infamous promo, they really said a lot of things off for wrestling. Anytime this guy got on the mic, you put him in toe to toe with anybody, and I think he would be able to hold his own against anybody. His microphone skills were unmatched to me. And then Paul Heyman, come on, anytime Paul Heyman has a microphone and everybody's listening. Ric Flair, and then The Rock. So that's my list. What do you got, Sean? Go ahead. Run through your list.
Rock, Savage, Ric Flair, CM Punk. But the 5th one is not Paul Heyman. I'm going to go with the wild card, and I don't even know if this counts. But I'm going to go with the combination of Bobby the Brain Heenan and Gorilla Monsoon on commentary.
I love that duo. That's my...
it's a great duo.
That's a great duo.
Is that the best commentary duo ever to you?
I think Gorilla and Bobby, the way they played off each other. Will you stop? I think it's the best stuff. Will you be?
It's
tough because,
in my opinion, yes.
I would say it's tough because Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross, man.
Yeah. Wait, what about Gorilla Monsoon and Jesse Ventura?
Totally agree. That's what I was gonna say. Like, that's a hard act to follow.
Or even Jesse Ventura, Vince McMahon, bro. Vince McMahon was really good on commentary to me. I think he was underrated.
Gorilla and Jesse were good, but when Bobby Heenan got with Gorilla Monsoon, it's almost like this X factor of like on camera or on microphone they hated each other, but you could still feel that hint on like the underlying hint of knowing that they really loved each other.
Yeah,
it's Jerry Lawler and Jim Ross and Bobby the Brain Heenan and they're there.
One thing that I think that, in my opinion, Jesse had edged Bobby just in one little area.
Okay,
would be the fact of him having that knowledge of wrestling and body parts, and you know what I'm saying? Like I felt that Bobby was very busy at being a heel commentary, being that weasel, being that complainer. And look to a point, Jesse did that too in some cases. Come on, Gorilla. Come on, open your eyes. He raked the ref. Yes, I get it. He has to do that. But I also felt that Jesse added that element of helping and complimenting Gorilla Monsoon from a wrestling knowledge standpoint. Bobby really didn't do that.
You're right. But
exactly. That's exactly why I put.
But I want to give you guys.
That's why I put Jesse over Bobby.
Yeah,
I agree.
gonna give you guys a soundbite, and I want you guys to watch it on your own. It's not gonna take you long. WrestleMania 8, the opening match. Shawn Michaels on his way to the ring with Sherry. Bobby the Brain Heenan. Gorilla Monsoon says she's got a tattoo right on her chest or whatever. And he says, I'm closing my eyes so I can remember. Bobby the Brain, Gorilla says, is the feeling mutual as it relates to how Sherry feels about Shawn? And he's like, well, is the feeling mutual? And Bobby the Brain Heenan says, of course, he wouldn't allow any and then Gorilla Monsoon's like, bimbo. He's like, no, I said, pimp. I'm excited.
I mean, the Brain Heenan, bro, and Gorilla Monsoon they're untouched.
Legendary, bro. Legendary.
Yeah, I love it, man.
Just imagine, bro. Imagine if they had if we could have Bobby the Brain Heenan and Jim Ross on the commentary team together.
Oh my God, that'd be amazing.
Or Jim Ross and Gorilla Monsoon. It'd be like, bro,
any combination of the four.
I'd like to have all four of them at one table. You know,
oh my God,
why not? Turns.
But since we're talking about commentary, another underrated heel commentary to me, I thought he was really good was JBL, bro. JBL was a fucking.
I thought JBL was here and there. I thought he was good in his first run as a commentator.
He was really good. I thought he used to say some crazy shit on live. Like, damn, JBL's about it. He used to say some crazy shit to me. So, all right, who do you guys got, Kyron? Who you got?
All right, my top 5 might work. It's gonna go by pretty fast. Number 5, I got John Cena. Number 4, I got Randy Savage. Number 3, I have Chris Jericho. Number 2, I have Paul Heyman. Number 2, I have The Rock, and number 1, I have Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman. I knew Paul Heyman would be number 1 on your list. What about you, Monty? Who you got?
Okay. We already covered a couple of these guys, so I'm going to leave my curveballs for the end. Actually, no. I think special mention to Roddy Piper and Dusty Rhodes. Those two, amazing on the mic.
I don't know if you have them on here yet. I'll let you go. I don't know if you have them on here yet.
But I have Ric Flair. I have The Rock. I have Chris Jericho. I have CM Punk, and then I also have Bobby Heenan. I think he's better than Paul Heyman for some weird reason. I don't know.
As far as manager wise, he definitely is. But on the mic,
yeah, but on the mic, I gotta go Heyman. I think Heenan was definitely more probably funny, more entertaining. But when it comes to when I sit down and listen to you talk, it's Paul Heyman.
And I had to throw out.
I know, but Bobby Heenan put over his guys, in my opinion, better than Paul Heyman did.
Well, Paul Heyman's only had one guy, though.
It's a tough one.
He
had a Dangerous Alliance and stuff,
he did, but he's only. If you think of Bobby Heenan, you could name a couple people that people could think of him with. If you name Paul Heyman, people are going to say Brock Lesnar. I mean, that's just the obvious one. Yeah. And when he was with CM Punk, he never talked because CM Punk can talk on the mic.
Didn't need a mouthpiece.
He really did.
An honorable mention, though, we never talked about Steve Austin, bro. Stone Cold. Nobody had him on the list, but Stone Cold Steve Austin go on the stick, bro. He definitely was.
About respect for Stone
Cold Steve Austin and the Alliance.
Stone Cold Steve Austin, man. All right, let's go on the top 5 rappers, bro. Sean, let me see. Me and Sean got a lot in common, bro. So I'm interested in Sean's list, bro, because we got a lot of flavor.
They're gonna kill me.
I'm going to the washroom, but I got my hit thing on. I can listen. Continue, guys.
We're going with Hov for Jay-Z, Daughter of the Rock in the building. B.I.G. rest in peace. Pac, rest in peace. Nasty Nas, and I'm going with Drizzy, man, because I'm an R&B dude at heart, man.
Sean, we got the same list besides one guy, bro. We got the same list besides one guy, bro. We got so much in common, bro. We got the same list besides literally.
That's why you're my guy. My brother, man. We got this, man. I don't know who your 5th guy is. I want to hear
it. Tupac, Biggie, Jay-Z, Drake was on mine, and Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne was the only other guy that I had replaced with. Honorable mentions to one of my favorite rappers, too, 50 Cent, bro. 50 Cent, one of my favorite rappers, especially from my generation. But those guys, Pac, my favorite rapper of all time. And then I had Jay-Z, Wayne, Drake, and B.I.G. Rest in peace.
Honorable mention to Yeezy, even though he needs to get himself together. But honorable mention to Yeezy.
Yeah, Yeezy too, and another honorable mention too is Rakim. Rakim, gotta throw out Rakim. Nice. Gotta throw out Rakim too. So that's my list. But I know I want to see a list because, bro, we got a lot in common, Sean. We see
I agree with you. We do. All
right, Kyron, who you got?
My top 5 rappers. I want to mention the Biggie and Pac. They're 2 of the greatest ever, but I don't listen to their music enough to put them on the list. Even though I respect the hell out of both on what they've done for the industry. Number 4, this one is the only one's not going to go in any order because I want to throw a curveball, a few curveballs. I got Drake, I got J. Cole, I got Chance the Rapper, I've got Nicki Minaj, and I've got Justina Valentine. Those are my top 5 favorites.
Oh my God.
You're shaking your head. No, it's been so serious. I really love her music. I think not.
No, I'm not saying you're, but I'm talking. This is all time. So your favorite rappers of all time.
You think Justina Valentine is one of the top 5 rappers to ever?
Hey,
did I say that? I didn't say that. I said favorites.
This is your favorite, yeah. Top 5 favorites. Yeah.
I didn't say that. I said favorite. I didn't say she was the best.
That's my mistake. If
these are my top 5. If I was going to top 5 greatest, then most of the people you guys said, these are my top 5 favorites. That's why I have Chance. I mean, if you want the actual order, it was 5 Justina, 4 Drake, 3 Nicki, 2 J. Cole, and number 1 was Chance.
I stand corrected. If it's favorites, then you're more than
it's
I mean, favorite. I've never heard anybody list Justina Valentine as their favorite rapper either. But more power to you. Know what?
I missed some stuff. What's happening? Who picked who?
All right. Did you? My list. Me and Sean pretty much had the same list. Okay, so my list was Tupac, Biggie, Lil Wayne, Jay-Z, and Drake. Those were my favorite rappers.
And my list is Hove, Pac, Big, Nas, and Drake.
Oh wow!
And Kyron's gonna throw you for a loop. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I wanted mine to be different. These are just people who are my favorites. These aren't the 5 greatest rappers because if I did, my list would probably look similar to theirs. I had Justina Valentine, Drake, Nicki Minaj, J. Cole, and Chance the Rapper.
Oh my God!
Look at his face. He's like,
oh my God, that's an interesting list, brother. But I get it because mine's a little bit different too. So I might have similar results. We'll see how it goes.
Let me guess. Let me see. Vanilla Ice is on there.
Wow.
Who else can I throw in? House Party. MC Hammer. House of Pain. Yeah, House of Pain. House
Party.
Maybe some Eminem. No, Eminem almost. He's number 6 on my list. He's number 6.
Eminem is honorable mention for me.
This is the part where Malik says that Lion King is the best type of music, and Lion King is the best rapper of all time. Also, that's what you're gonna say, right? For sure. So here's my 5. Look, I got two honorable mentions. These are my favorite. I'm not saying they're the best ever, but these are my favorite that I like to bump. Nipsey Hussle is a honorable mention for me.
Nice.
Eminem for sure.
Impressive.
Those are just my mentions. But my 5 are LL Cool J.
Okay.
Love Ladies Love, man. Love him. All out. That album 10 was sick, bro. Phenomenon. The GOAT. He was the one that made up the GOAT. Like he made up that expression. I'm convinced.
Yeah.
Because that came out in like 2000 or something like that.
Yep.
The Definition, Exit 13. Like I can keep going on. LL Cool J albums, all sick, great. Men and women love them. Anyways, I have his workout books. I'm a big fan of. I'm telling you, if you guys, I would go see a concert about LL. I swear to God, love him to death. Second, and a couple of obviously they're commercial. All of them are pretty much commercial. Fabulous, love Fabulous. That New York sound, that East Coast. I've been a fan of him since. Well, since
Holla back, youngin.
Yes, sir. I was all about it. And Street Dreams to this day is one of my favorite albums of all time.
I am very impressed.
The first one, not the Street Dreams mixtape one, but the first one where he was chilling in the car and he's got the navy blue boots on. Love that.
I'm so convinced.
You know,
I'm so convinced Vanilla Ice is on the list. He's on the list.
Yo, man, you underestimate me with my swag.
You really did underestimate it, man.
Hey, look, the Nipsey also one that I wouldn't expect it. I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't expect it.
Yeah. Victory Lap. Victory Lap is one of the sickest albums I've heard in recent time.
Oh, it's so good.
So what we got? We got LL Cool J and Fabulous. The third one, I'm gonna say Joe Budden. I love Joe Budden. He's misunderstood to a lot of new age rappers and a lot of new age fans of hip hop. But this guy has got some of the most deepest tracks I've ever heard. And, and I'm a big fan of Nas and Jay-Z and all that. But like for me, Nas was an amazing storyteller, but so is Joe Budden. The way he talks and rhymes about things, and he's just got that flow, man. Like his commercial shit was fire. Don't get me wrong, with Focus and, Pump It Up. Pump It Up, and and so many others on that album. But the reality is some of his later work, like Escape Room, was it Escape Room? I'm trying to remember the names of them all right now. Stuck in a Padded Room, the Escape. Anyways, he had like so many different albums that for me. And then obviously when Immortal came out, and that whole Love Lost album was just fucking amazing to me. So Joe Budden for sure. I'm gonna go with Biggie. Biggie is one of those rappers that every time one of his songs on, it's hard to not bop to it, man. It's sick. One of my favorite songs to this day. I Love the Dough. That shit will get me moving, put me in a good song. Sky's the Limit.
Sky's the Limit, bro. That's man.
That was for me. Those two are like some of the best Biggie tracks ever.
One More Chance is probably my favorite Biggie song.
Yeah, sure. It's more of a slower down one, but I liked like his like commercial fire, like like those solid track. Hypnotize, obviously. Man, there's just so many. That whole Life After Death album was fantastic as well. And finally, one of my favorite rappers of all time, Big Punisher, Big Pun. And I wanted to put Fat Joe on this list but more of Fat Joe's, a little bit of his older stuff I really enjoyed from the Terror Squad days and stuff like that. But that whole group, like Big Pun, to me, best lyricist of all time. Yep, I said it. He came up with the best rhymes. He was one of the fastest rappers, the tongue twist and everything. And apparently it was all legit. It was all legit. There was no takes. I don't know. I mean, I think what he's done in that Bronx, that BX lifestyle, man. I mean, I know Sean's loving it because he's from New York and stuff. So, he's probably like, shit, man. I really like that New York rap, man. Like, and Big New York rap is really good, bro. That Capital Punishment album was one of the best pieces of music I've ever listened to. I don't want to be a player no more, bro. And that was like one of his low key songs for real. If you listen to that whole album and then go to Yeah Baby, it'll blow your fucking mind. Like, dude, like he was so creatively sound and just the words he used, and he was so entertaining, but at the same time his flow was fire. And for me, that's got to be my favorite rapper of all time is Big Punisher, 100%.
I'll have to throw out some honorable mentions for myself because they weren't able to make my list. DMX, one of my favorite rappers of all time. Got to throw out DMX, T.I., Snoop Dogg, Rakim, Ice Cube, and Eminem. Really appreciate all their work. Since Sean's from New York, got to throw out Wu-Tang Clan. Big fan of them too. I like Wu-Tang.
I'm gonna go with Wu-Tang as well for honorable mention. More specifically, Method Man. I'm a big Raekwon fan as well. I also am a big fan of Dr. Dre. Snoop.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Also, a big
all that NWA sound.
Yeah, a big shout out to Puffy. Puffy is not a rapper per se, but Puffy is so dope as it relates to like that R&B crossover. Kind of like pop feel that has become so popular now. So big shout out to one of the pioneers, Puff Daddy, as well.
Absolutely.
I was gonna say, you brought up Wu-Tang Clan. Funny thing, a lot of people say my dad looked like Raekwon, and also this is something my mother told me. My father used to hang out with some of the members of Wu-Tang Clan.
Nice.
Wow.
All right, so last category. Moving on to music. So we're still in the music category. but it's WWE versus the themes. So this is top 5 favorite themes ever, man. So this is, they're obviously, you think about all the great themes that have happened in the history of wrestling. So many, right? But narrow it down to 5. That's hard. It's hard to do, man. There's so many.
We didn't give props to Busta Rhymes. We didn't give props to Busta Rhymes too, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Busta Rhymes.
Busta Rhymes, fuck man.
Twisted too. It was just Tribe Called Quest, bro.
Yeah, but come on, Twisted's not on Busta Rhymes level, bro. Come on. No, you can't say that.
Oh, I don't. But in my opinion, he is. But that's just me.
Are you crazy? Twisted had like 2 good years. Busta Rhymes is still going.
You're talking about fast rap,
Sean,
though?
help me out here, please. Huh?
You're talking about fast rap?
No, I just meant like better rap.
No, I'm talking about fast. I'm talking about rap as fast rap.
Like, oh yeah, of course. Well, no, Twista was probably the fastest one I've ever heard. Almost, I think.
I've never done.
Couple of the Bone Thugs guys were really quick.
I love big shout out to Bone Thugs. I'm very
Bone Thugs and Harmony. Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Sean's gonna pray for me even more now, baby.
Very
Bone Thugs and Harmony.
Sorry, man. Continue. My bad.
No. You're right. No, I was talking about as far as fast rap, like it's fast.
Yeah, I misunderstood.
Twisted may be the fastest rapper to me. I mean, as far as
Okay, if you like fast rap, look up the song "60 Second Assassin." I'll send it in the group chat after. Okay. Right. Trust me. All
right. So top 5 themes, Melty. What do you have? What do you have for your top 5 themes? I'm interested to see. Okay, no, what? Before since this is the last one, I'm gonna try to guess. I'm gonna try to guess yours.
Okay, that sounds like fun.
Since everybody's gonna try to guess theirs, Okay, so for yours, I'm definitely gonna say you have Triple H My Time because I know you fucking love that song. Yeah. So I'm gonna say you have Triple H My Time on there.
I don't, but that's a really good one.
Oh, okay. He doesn't have that. Okay, so I was wrong. Okay, so don't reveal your list. I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna say, oh gosh, it's tough, man.
I don't think you're gonna get it.
I'm gonna say Hogan's thing. I'm gonna say Hulk Hogan, Real American's gonna be.
I'm gonna say Hogan. I'm gonna say Hogan's. I'm gonna say. Oh gosh.
Say Demolition.
Demolition is a good one.
You guys are funny.
Oh man, it's hard.
Listen, I'll tell you one thing. Hulk Hogan is definitely in it for sure.
I'm gonna say Owen Hart. I'm gonna throw a little curveball in there. I'm gonna throw a little curveball in there. If it's not Owen, it's gonna be some type of Hart Foundation, Bret Hart, the Hart Foundation, one of the original themes because they all have good themes actually.
Yeah,
you got Owen Hart right. You're getting worse. So far, you guys got 2 right. You got 2.
All right, so Owen Hart, Hogan, Evolution.
Yep. That's in there. That's in the top 5. Yep.
Gotta be.
Maybe Randy Orton. No, maybe Randy Orton voices.
Let's let him read it off.
Burning My Light.
Believe it or not, as much and look, they're in my top 10, both of them, no doubt. Okay. Not in my top 5 though.
All right, I got 3 of them. So what are the other 2?
All right, go ahead.
The other 2 for me, I mean, look, shout out to This Fire Burns, CM Punk. First of all, I love Kill Switch Engage. So I have my love for hip hop, I have my love for EDM music, and I have my love for like rock, alternative, metal, and stuff like that. And one of my favorite groups is Kill Switch Engage. So when they did the theme for CM Punk, I was like losing my shit, Yeah. And that song was just, if you're ever feeling down and you need to like get back up again and to be like, I will not be defeated kind of deal. You gotta listen to that song.
Yeah,
so good.
He had one of those themes where I was very upset he changed it, but then cult
I know, but then me too.
Personality, it grew on me. It grew on me.
Okay, but honorable mention to This Fire Burns, obviously Cult of Personality, and another one that really, really just missed my list was Broken Dreams. So Drew McIntyre's chosen one theme was so sick by Sheeman's Harvest.
Okay, so you have Hulk Hogan, you have Evolution.
I haven't given you my last 2 though. My last 2 picks.
And you have Owen Hart. So
you have Owen Hart, Hogan, Evolution, Owen Hart, and the other 2, King of My World, the Chris Jericho track. I loved it when he had that song. That was by Saliva. I like Saliva's music as well. That's up there for my top 5.
They had great themes too for WWE.
Oh, that song always is probably my favorite pay-per-view theme of all time.
Ladies and Gentlemen was a sick track for WrestleMania 23 as well. Like, by the way,
that's my favorite WrestleMania theme.
Oh, such a good, like, you know when they do those recap videos at the end and they show the pictures of
it
like,
was real good.
It just really went with the whole vibe. But to be honest, one of my favorite themes of all time, you guys never would have guessed it, but I love it, was Rick Rude's WCW theme, Simply Ravishing, his second one with oh yeah, that's it, bro. That song is sick. So I'm keeping it old school. Rick Rude WCW theme.
All right, Kyrie.
Done.
Let me try to guess.
Malik, you at least know 3 of them.
Okay, well, Rebel Heart, for sure. I would say Rebel Heart is one there.
Chris Jericho, AEW.
You got one, Sean.
Chris Jericho's AEW. Oh, Rebel Heart's not on there? Okay. Nope. Chris Jericho's AEW.
Sasha Banks.
Nah.
Sasha Banks. Okay, no, I know he loves that one too.
That would have been in my top 5 a few years ago.
I'm trying to think. Basic Thugonomics, Cena.
Guess. You said what?
Basic Thugonomics.
No.
Oh, Burning My Light. Burning My Light.
Yes.
Burning My Light.
Then you didn't guess my favorite of all time.
I'm trying to think.
My time is now. John Cena.
No, I can't remember off the top of my head. I'm going to bring it.
You know what? It's my favorite theme of all time.
I'm trying to think. I don't remember it.
I thought it would have been Rebel Heart. I thought you liked that song.
Yeah, I thought it would too.
I do, but it's not in my top 5 anymore.
Macho Man?
No.
Macho Man, he does love that one too.
All right.
Burning My Light, Judas.
You got Burning My Light and Judas. Those are in the top 3.
Okay.
His favorite team ever, though. I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. It's not Shawn Michaels. I don't remember.
Oh, Reverend Devon.
No, that's not it.
All right.
Go for it.
Number 5, Cody Rhodes, Kingdom. That's a song that it grew on me, and I really like it now. Cody Rhodes' theme, Kingdom. Number 4, this theme is a banger. Slow Chemical, Kane.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Number 3 is Burning My Light. You definitely got that. Number 2 is Judas. And number 1, I said plenty of times, my favorite thing of all time, Cult of Personality.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
You guys did the draft of the best theme ever. I remember it won. It beat was Undisputed Era beat Cult of Personality?
No, Cult of Personality won.
Cult of Personality won. I forgot.
Oh really? I thought it was Undisputed Era.
I forgot about Cult, and we just talked about Cult of Personality too. We just fucking talked about that too.
Oh yeah, shout out to NWO.
Let's see, Sean. So I'm gonna say
Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels is number 1. Shawn Michaels theme.
Anything Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels attire would be number 1.
I'm gonna say
Hulk Hogan.
I'm gonna say Hulk Hogan.
Hulk Hogan.
No.
Triple H, My Time.
I love that song.
Evolution.
Nope.
Judas.
You got HBK, but that's it so far.
The first Hart Foundation, the tag team theme.
Nope.
No, that was Conrad. Conrad loves that song.
When I
say them, you're gonna be like, "Oh, that makes sense."
Sean's old school though. I'm trying to think, man. He likes the old
Demolition. No, Ultimate Warrior.
No, I don't like that song. When have I ever?
I thought you liked Ultimate Warrior.
I like Ultimate Warrior. I God rest his soul. I never liked Ultimate Warrior.
Damn,
wow. I thought you liked people can say that.
Demolition. Be on there?
Nope.
Well, this may be okay. What about The Rock, 1998? You smell what The Rock is cooking?
Number 6 on my list of 5.
Damn. Chris Jericho.
Any of The Rocks? Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Nope.
Fuck. Okay,
Damn.
I give up.
You got HBK, and you came very close at Rock 98.
We knew HBK was number 1, though. We knew that.
I'm sure one of the Rocks has got to be there.
I'll give you a hint. You're gonna get it right away.
When The Rock was in the Nation of Domination, that one.
Yeah, that one. That's number 6 on my list of 5.
Oh, I missed that. Okay.
I'll give you a hint. You got HBK. Another one of my top
DX
is very HBK orientated. Yes, DX.
DX. Okay, yeah. DX. So DX, HBK, NWO.
NWO is number 7.
Damn.
Okay.
Undisputed
I love
Era.
how he has more than
Undisputed
5.
Era is on my list. Yes.
Really? I would have never guessed.
5?
Undisputed Era is my number 5.
Okay, so we got HBK.
Matter of fact, it's every other one so far. You got Undisputed Era at number 5. You got DX at number 3, and you got HBK at number 1.
So we got number 2 and number 4.
I don't know the other two.
Damn.
I guessed all the ones I thought he would like for sure.
Undertaker.
I did too.
Taker, Ministry of Darkness,
Booker
Booker
T.
T.
Oh, that's a good pick. Like the Harlem Heat one.
Booker T is
Booker.
And
See, okay, let me ask you this. I don't know if you guys know this though, but do you know what that means? Do you know what that means?
Wasn't it 5 time? 5 times.
No. Booker. I found this out the other day. Booker T did an interview. He was doing a podcast about it. I never knew this. You remember how? Okay, before his WWE thing was "Can you dig it?" You remember the original Harlem Heat one? Yes. Yeah. No. That's what that means. Yes. No. He said that's what that.
Oh,
I never knew that.
He said that's what it meant. I never knew it. He did an interview and he was like, "That's what."
Yes. No.
He was talking about playing into the characters, and then people do it. He was like, "Bro, that's what that is. That's yes. No. That's what I was like, bro. Never fucking knew that, bro. Never knew that." So
amazing. I learned something today.
All right, so guys, at number 5 we have Undisputed Era. At number 4 we have
Edge.
No, that's a good one. Number 4 we have Booker T. Number 3 we have DX. Number 1 is HBK.
No, you're number 2.
Number 2 is, I think, probably one of all of our. If you think about it, it's one of the greatest theme songs ever, and it's so swaggy. That's a hit. It's super swaggy.
Ric Flair.
Well, that's swaggy too, but no.
Rick Rude, Ted DiBiase.
No, Ted DiBiase wasn't swaggy.
Give us
it
old
was
school
catchy.
or newer school?
It's middle.
Okay, is it like 2000s? Like 2000?
It's somebody that we saw in the 90s. It's somebody. Okay, I'm gonna give it away. It's somebody we saw in the 90s. It's somebody we saw last night.
I didn't fucking watch last night.
Probably last night.
It's somebody we saw in the 90s, and it's somebody we saw last night.
I didn't watch. I don't watch Raw. I don't know.
I don't remember.
It's somebody we saw in the 90s and 2000s, and somebody we saw last night.
I watched last night.
Shane McMahon.
Oh,
Shane McMahon.
So you like that thing?
That's in your top 5. Wow.
Top 5.
I love that.
Here we go.
Naughty by nature, man.
Here comes the money. Money.
So to review, Undisputed Era at number 5, Booker T at number DX at number 6. Undisputed Era number 5, Booker T at number 4, DX at number 3.
I love the Harlem Heat there.
The Shane McMahon one. That's a little up there. I like that. I would have never guessed that one. I for sure thought like Heart Foundation or something would have been.
Yeah, I like Shane's music. Always did. 2001 that came out. That was very cool.
His music is good. Not gonna lie. His music is good.
HBK's the greatest music ever. Greatest wrestler. Greatest music. HBK.
We all right, Conrad. Calm down. But
what Conrad say? What is he saying?
You know what Conrad's gonna say.
HBK for
Still
sure.
watching.
But his theme song is gonna be HBK, The Rockers, fucking DX,
Heart Foundation.
The version of Vince song.
His is gonna be Shawn Michaels, Sensational Sherry, the original Shawn Michaels, The Rockers, the Run DMC DX theme, the original DX theme.
No, the Orient
Express.
The Orient Express has got to be in there.
Was when they were back in AWA.
Anything Shawn Michaels is definitely on the list.
Yeah.
All right.
Friar Ferguson's first theme.
Friar Ferguson's first theme is
Wow.
it's pretty bad, bro. Bro, I laughed so hard, bro, when you did that impression of him. When you did that fucking pose of the fucking
that was definitely your best.
That shit was fucking hilarious.
He said Friar Ferguson. I was done.
Think about
the camera. I remember.
I had to get up because I fucking lost it, bro. I lost my mind.
I wish I would have saw your reaction. You just left.
Think about how cursed this guy was. He got Friar Ferguson
and Bastion Booger.
Gosh, you're so bad, bro. It's so bad, bro.
I mean, literally, when your theme starts off, I'm the Booger Man. Like you think you're not going any. That's you're not going nowhere but down.
Just think about
it.
Think about it. If they came up to you, Sean, and said, "You want to be Friar Ferguson or you want to be Bastion Booger?" You got to pick between.
I would take Friar Ferguson. I would take Friar Ferguson.
I would pick another. I would pick another job to do. I would pick something else to do for a living.
No. Serious question. If you had no choice, you either had to be Friar Ferguson or Bastion Booger. I'm taking Friar Ferguson.
I would take Friar Ferguson. I take Friar Ferguson.
Friar Ferguson's better, I guess.
But if I can be anybody, if you can be,
you want to be, we know.
Before you can be, before we go into my list, if you could truly be one worst gimmick ever, what would it be? Because I would definitely be Santa Claus.
We know you'd be Santa Claus.
Just think about that.
We know you'd be Santa Claus.
This bro,
you be proud.
The whole story is he's Santa's evil twin and he steals presents from kids. Come on, bro.
You guys don't understand. I'm
gonna pick a gimmick that a lot of people say is stupid, but I loved him and I still love him to this day.
Disco Inferno.
No, I love him, but no. But this one hits even close to home from my personal life.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I can see Sean in there.
I would love to play Brother Love.
Okay.
Brother Love wasn't bad.
That wasn't bad.
A lot of people like Brother Love.
For the hell of it.
Brother Love was. We didn't even draft him in the worst gimmick, so he wasn't a bad gimmick. Brother Love wasn't a bad gimmick.
Leslie, that's not a bad gimmick, Sean. Come on now. If you ask me what's a bad gimmick I would want to do. First, I'm gonna give you a bad gimmick, and then I'm gonna give you a bad theme I want to come out with. All right. The bad gimmick that I would do, now I'm trying to think, what's a bad gimmick that I want to do? Screw it, I do freaking Arachna Man. I think that'd be fun to do. And with theme, either the theme I had to come out to one because you wouldn't shut up about it. It's Bob Sparky Plug Holly, because you wouldn't shut up about it.
Bro, don't please.
You would not.
I want car piece. It's a piece of car.
I want a mixture of Santa Claus. I want a mixture of Santa Claus and Oz, and a mix.
Oh yeah, Oz. I gotta be Oz. Never mind. I gotta be Oz. You right. I gotta be Oz. Scratch that. Oz.
I want a mixture of Santa Claus and Oz coming out to Jillian Hall sliced bread.
No, I'm be Oz. I'm gonna call it just like this.
Welcome to us. Oh, guys.
Welcome to us. I love that stuff, man.
What about the diamond stud?
Wait a minute. I gotta.
Exactly, Mountie.
Wait a minute. I forgot. Mantor. Oh, come on. I'm coming out as Mantor. I'm Mantor.
Come on, don't do that to yourself.
I'm Mantor.
Sean.
Mantor.
Sean.
I want to be Mantor.
Yeah. It's
great.
No. I think I'll have to also do. I think I'll have to do Stardust because I killed Sean with that one. I had never seen Sean laugh that hard.
He did and then you was like, I was like, oh my.
Yeah, that was sick, bro.
No, I swear I was not even planning on doing that. I just did hiding right for no reason. I did the Berserker.
And then you did this one. You did this one too.
Okay, all honesty. Okay, before we get into my list, if you really could be one wrestler, who would you really been? And I'm talking about a good wrestler.
Oh,
I would have indulged in the Razor Ramon character.
I would have loved to have been The Rock.
The Rock.
I mean, Rock makes a lot of sense too. Razor was so freaking cool.
Mine would have been The Rock too. No, if I couldn't have been The Rock, I would have been The Undertaker. Greatest character ever.
I gotta be The Rock and I apologize in advance, Mountie, but just so I can go into Toronto and say stronger than a bear, faster than the buck, the biggest thing that hit Canada because the Maple Leafs suck. So I can go and then.
He's not a Leafs fan. He's not a Leafs fan.
Oh, okay. And then I can go to Sacramento.
I hate the Leafs, so I love that.
And then I can go to Sacramento, and then I can say, Sacramento, I won't stay, but I'll be sure to come back when the Lakers beat the Kings in May. When I tell you that's one of my favorite. That's my favorite segment of the Ruthless Aggression era. One of my top 5 favorite segments of all time.
I would have loved to have been a member of DX also.
That would be fun. That would be fun.
It's a hard question. I think I would like to be like a good heel, like Mr. Perfect, or like Ravishing Rick Rude. I'd like to have a cocky heel character.
You know who else I would have
or Legend Killer Randy Orton. I think I would nail that. I
would have loved to have been somebody like Brock Lesnar too. Somebody who just has it. You look at this guy, look, he has it. He just has the package.
Yeah, but you can't really have a lot of fun with that though. Like you want to be something you can have fun with.
What you mean not to get fun with? I'm getting paid a lot of money. That's all fun I need.
Think about it this way though. Imagine like this is why
I'm talking about him in his early days when he first came to WWE.
Okay, I would say like I think as if I was a wrestler or manager, I probably want to be a manager because I think I can talk pretty well. I would want to be a heel manager because you can just say the best things to get under the crowd's skin. That's why being a heel is so much better than being a face because there's no limit on what you can and can't say.
Yep.
That's true. All right, my list. You guys want to guess? Or we didn't guess it, so I'll let you guys.
Shit, we didn't do yours yet.
Obviously, Voices. Voices is number one.
Voices.
Triple H, the Game.
Yeah.
The Shield. Evolution.
Undisputed Era.
I'm gonna say Undisputed Era.
Okay.
Cult of Personality.
You only got all those were wrong. So number one, greatest theme ever to me. Voices, Randy Orton.
HBK. You respect HBK.
Yeah,
that's not my top 10.
Not his theme though. Not his theme song.
His theme is good, but it's not my top 10.
It's not in my no. All right, number one. Okay, I'll start from the bottom.
Wait. 98, whatever, somewhere in that range. Undertaker.
Yeah, Ministry Undertaker.
Ministry Taker. That's a good one. That's a good mention. But it's my favorite Undertaker theme is "Rolling" by Limp Bizkit. Actually, so that's my favorite Undertaker.
The Brood.
Number 5.
That's a good thing.
Number 5, Batista, Walk Alone. Number 5 on my list.
Okay.
Love that team.
And that's a banger.
Number 4, CM Punk, Cult of Personality.
I said that.
Number 1, number 2. I'll go to number 3. Number 2 is Triple H, The Game. Number 1 is Randy Orton, Voices.
I knew they'd be top 2. I knew that for a fact.
My favorite theme ever. Number 3 though, Edge, Metalingus.
I was about to say that.
I was gonna say Edge too.
You think you know me? That shit, bro. That's that, bro. Come on, that's that.
I find it funny how we know Malik and Sean so well. I instantly knew that their favorite themes easily. But you guys know what my favorite theme was, and you guys couldn't guess it.
I said that. I said Judas.
Judas is number 2.
It's called Personality. It was tough. Roland almost made my list. I really wanted to put that on there. I was debating between that. I wanted
to put the model Rick Martel in mine.
Ooh, that was fun.
It was fucking awesome, man.
That's a good one. Some honorable mentions too. I gotta throw out Jeff Hardy, No More Words. That was one of my favorites.
Oh, that was a great track. Great track.
One of my favorites, especially from my era, my childhood era, one of my favorites of all time. Of course, Basic Economics, John Cena, Basic Economics, great thing.
That was awesome. That was great.
I
floated that song every time it comes on.
Evolution. Oh, you know another one that almost made my list? Victoria's first theme song by Tattoo. All the things she said, bro. That shit was a banger, bro. That was a banger theme, man. I'm so mad that she only came out with that for a year, but that theme song, that's why she became that's why she's my second favorite female wrestler of all time. Now, number 1, she's from the diva era. She never felt like a diva to me because she didn't look like a diva. She had a character that was over with fans because she was a psychopath, and she had a legit theme song. She had a badass theme song.
Also, big shout out to Stone Cold Steve Austin, WrestleMania 17.
Yeah, that's a good one too. That's a really good one too. And I also got to throw out too. Okay, we're talking about The Rock. What's everybody's favorite Rock theme? You gotta have one.
Oh, Rock! You already called it Rock 98.
Yeah. Do you smell what The Rock is cooking?
I'm gonna say the modern day Rock theme. Rock's theme nowadays.
You like the modern Rock? I don't like the modern Rock at all.
That guitar? Come on now.
No, man, no. You gotta go old school with that Rock.
I don't feel it the way I like. I mean, maybe because it's my generation. I
have 3 to mine. My favorite one would be 98 Rock. Do you smell what The Rock is cooking? Ha!
The Rock SmackDown.
Rock SmackDown.
The Rock's Hollywood theme was
that was a good one too.
That was good.
That's
And
because it
then
was
the
the best
other
rock.
one, my favorite one, I don't know why, it's just If You Smell the Rock. The one he came out in WrestleMania 17 is cooking.
That's a good one too. That'd probably be
that
up
was
there too.
that was an honorable mention for mine too. So
See, I want to touch on that because, sorry, go ahead, Sean. My bad.
Fun fact: If You Smell debuted Unforgiven '99 out of nowhere, just randomly. It was Do You Smell Rock is Cooking all the way up until Unforgiven '99.
Rock had.
I never noticed.
If you look at go ahead, Malty, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like, he had so many different renditions of that theme, and they all worked for their own reasons.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why? Like, they should bring that shit back, man. Like you telling me you can't like alter a couple of like the classic songs and stuff. Like, I don't even like Orton's voices, or you can maybe change. Obviously, like Becky Lynch's a little bit throughout the years, or like Bailey's. Maybe not Bailey was a bad example. They just changed hers, but like something that like Brock Lesnar, you could have changed it a little bit, maybe. But I think if you have the right character, you could do it.
But his theme, I think, with Brock's, his theme has the ultimate hype though, because as soon as you hear that guitar play, you're like, oh shit, you know what I'm saying? Here comes his theme fits perfectly.
Fine. You're right. Okay, leave that one alone. But still, like somebody like Becky Lynch, they could probably upgrade like every 2 years or something like that.
Yeah, Becky could be. Somebody. Because the Rock had a lot of. I think the Rock had one bad theme. Honestly, he had a lot of themes.
The Miz, they could have changed his theme a little bit. Just tweak it a little bit. And I liked how they put the intro for the Miz. Like that Hollywood intro. I loved it.
Yeah.
But then it goes right back to the old theme, and I'm like less interested.
I see.
You're gonna do it. Do it right.
When do you guys predict that Roman Reigns will get a new theme? WrestleMania.
With fans, yeah. I think they've been pushing it back. They also, I think Jeff Hardy said he whenever they have fans, he's bringing it back. No More Words too. So
here's a question. Here's a follow-up question. Will it be more head of the table Samoan? Will it be hip hop?
No. I'm going with the first part.
I think it will be some type of from what I've seen him do his interviews with. I think it'll lean more towards a hip hop Samoan mix. So kind of a mixture of both.
Same here.
Kind of a mixture of both.
Like a hybrid of the two.
Something maybe with lyrics in it. But something that's also going to fit
the character these lyrics.
Maybe
it's for his taste though, because this is what he likes. So that's what they're saying. Because from what the interviews that I've seen him have, he's basically saying that the reason that his theme hasn't changed is because of him. Because he says it has to be right for him. So he's not going to change it until he feels like he finds the right one for his character. So
shout out in the chat.
I think WrestleMania,
phenomenal bunch, bro. Like Io Shirai's current theme is hot. I was trying to point that out because
another great theme too.
You know how I feel. I love that thing.
Another great theme. Another great theme I really love too is the Fiends. I love the Fiends theme.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And
that's solid.
I think he'll at WrestleMania. There's no better time with maybe the one time out of the year that we can have fans in a stadium. I think that would be the best time to introduce this new theme. Because I never liked the remake of the Shield. I liked the Shield's theme, the original Shield's theme, but I didn't like how they just gave him the Shield.
Oh, it's stupid! It was fucking stupid. You want to make him your man, but you want to use a recycled faction song. I get it in a way. Some guys throughout the years have done that. Of course, like
Seth Rollins gets a new theme.
Triple H's song is not quite like DX, but it's. I don't know. Okay, bad example. Maybe Motorhead. Like he used Motorhead, but it's a completely different song from, Line in the Sand, right? Like
the King of Kings, all that. So
yeah, that's a good song too.
All right, you guys. Appreciate you guys for tuning into the chat.
3 hours, you made it.
We went long, man. We went way too long.
I'm pretty sure Endless Bank has been here the whole time. So shout out to you.
Shout out to everybody. Shout out to everybody who've been watching. Appreciate you guys. Much love. Make sure you guys go follow these guys on social medias. We'll be back next week. Maybe waiting for Tuesday. Tuesday seems to be the best days. So waiting for next Tuesday. Next week for another. Okay, I was trying to stay consistent with you guys. As far as for the shows, one time a week. That way you guys can give some type of some type of content for you guys. So make sure you guys go follow these guys. Go check these guys out on all the platforms. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. Much love as always. Kyron, Bounty, Sean, and we'll be back next week. Next week.
Thanks for having me.